Hey guys, welcome to the close. Couple hours left in a pretty exciting trading session here as we await the Fed coming tomorrow. I feel like we need that dun 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 music in the background because it is going to be the lead for the market going forward here over the next few trading sessions. 91% right now. Chance that we do get that 75 basis point move from the Fed coming up tomorrow. So we're in a bit of a wait and see pattern here for the overall market. Until then, join us, hey, right now, but in 24 hours from now to get that decision. 0.5% here for the S&P, the Dow 0.8 currently to the downside. NASDAQ little changed overall. We continue to slide off in crypto land. Bitcoin went positive on the 24-hour period there briefly. Before we headed back to the southbound side. 3.8% right now. Here's a look at a very red board still, although some areas of note. FedEx with that announcement. Pre-market this morning upping their dividend 13.5% right now for FDX to the upside. CHRW also moving higher as a result. Boeing came out with monthly deliveries that were a little bit better than expected for May, that is, the month of May, that were a little bit better than expected, up 1.8% for Boeing there. Moderna, 3.5%. Nice move for Moderna today. There's LVS, there's MGN, there's Wynn right beside it. The casino's bouncing back nicely, but here are the cruise lines and Expedia as well, but RCL, NCLH, and CCL all in negative territory. Yeah, there's Tesla. We'll talk about Tesla coming up here in the connection to Twitter. Tesla up 3% today. Ford up 3% today. GM lags 2.2 for GM. Oracle still 9% off of a better than expected earnings report. Energy stocks in pretty good shape here so far today, riding a decent move for crude oil. So all said and done, yeah, a little bit of a wait and see kind of a day. We're back and forth on the overall market. Hope your afternoon is going well. Welcome into the final 2 hours of the trading session. We're going to get into a couple of things we were talking about in the pre-market, if you joined us this morning, to kick things off. So many opportunities this morning at the open. Neil's going to lead the way here with a look at one of his trades.
Thank you very much, Brennan. Look, we talked about this morning some of the Asian Chinese names, U.S. listed Chinese names being super strong, gapping up 2, 3, 4% across the board. I traded Bob and I traded Nio, but I think the more instructive trade actually is on Nio. It did the bigger move. We can talk about the levels a little bit better, and we can understand why this was a little bit more explosive than Alibaba. But I do need to set the stage because if you remember back last week, there was that one day where Alibaba went absolutely nuclear to the upside. It was just buying like you've never seen happen before, and just the move extended, and it was so consistently strong. I think that's a bit of the opportunity that got missed. But let's also set the context for NIO. Now, Nio had put in, this is my daily chart here, guys. Nio had put in a bit of a double bottom at 13. You'd seen it really start to make a next level move to the upside, and all of these support levels that had started to come in, starting to get pretty juicy. Now, yesterday you had that wipeout kind of day in the market. Market's down 4, 5%, individual names. The list of names that were down over 10% was tremendous. And a lot of times you come out of a day like that, and if you don't break that low, you have so many breakout names. Now, in this case, we did have Nio that was gapping up. And the key thing here is look at yesterday's bottom, essentially lined right back up with a resistance level. We had at about 16 even. You had that 16 bottom. And then look right here at this 1675 to 1680. You had a bit of a head and shoulders at that particular price. When we broke out of this range, we actually had some extension through in the next day to that $18 level. You look at that 1675 into the 18 top, extension through 18. So you knew there were some levels that were coming to place. When I sat down this morning, I had two ideas I loved. One of them was 1675 in Nio, which I'm chuckling about because I didn't hold on to, and then Bobo 103, which took you to 105. Now, I had both these trades simultaneously, and if you saw what was happening this morning, it was so easy to get shaken out, and I don't really mind getting shaken out. We got to 1670. It works into that 17 even. It dips back, and on serious sell strength, it takes me out at the bottom. Now, context. As that was happening, Bobo was looking absolutely fine. Everything else in the market was tanking, and the only other name we liked, it's okay, we can hold on to that one for the long side of the trade. This one, we should be jumping out because that's a wick off top. It's broken out of our range, put in a high at first reversal, and then faded. However, there's a saying that we put in, if you don't break the low, there's only one place to go, especially after you've seen a wipeout bottom. The second I saw us hold a pre-market low that completely validated that old entry, whether it's grabbing it here or waiting for it to take out that 17 area, both of those would have been good entry points. In this particular case, the same move happened in Alibaba for a couple of dollars, but realistically, Nio just gave you more explosive upside. This is what Baba did that other day last week, and what I was hoping it would do today when it only gave you 2, I was thinking it would give you 5 or 10 again. In this case, I did at least wait until, what was our key level? 18. We're looking for 18 here. What would I have held to? I would have held to 18. We get to that 18 price, and once you see it happen, that's the only place I want to jump short. We get a decent pullback into 50s, about a 50-cent win, and then it takes out the high on the reload. I did reverse into a long trade, scalp some out, and then hold it essentially to this level at about 1840. Now at this time, it consolidated and put a wick off top. So you had this high pullback, wick off top, which did jiggle me out of the trade. Worth noting, however, I always look at these things, even if it gets you out prematurely, it's usually telling you something at that particular price range, right? So 1840 has now turned into a bit of support. So as you do see, I've shorted 19, which is the next even dollar to the upside. I think we have trouble getting back in through that 1840 range. I think there's going to be some support there. There's a reason you see that resistance when it was so explosive, go sideways, wick off top, and then explode away from that price, hold it as support. I'd anticipate that it could do it again. The thing that's important here is when you have an opening thesis based off key levels and an overall direction in the stock, you can get jiggled out in that first 10, 15 minutes. Maybe you're trading 3, 4 symbols at a time. It's going to happen to you. However, after the dust settles and you are now into that, 15 minutes in, we didn't break the low, we've established the range, you've got to be able to revisit that previous trade and those previous levels. Because a lot of times that setup's going to be right there. And it's easy to say, okay, I got a couple of longs, we're fine. I don't need to jump back into this. But if you really liked it in your pre-market prep, and you liked it to take it off of the open, and you've held the bottom after the first 15 minutes of the day, and the upside is tremendous because you had a wipeout the day before, you want to get back into the trade. Not that bad that we didn't at least make the bungle of shorting it the entire way up, but should have held on to both Nio and Alibaba today. It doesn't matter that you're in the same sector twice. Sometimes if it sets up, you just got to have it and hold on to it. We'll have a good day and be up on Nio today, but the potential was there because Baba did it last week. Today I thought it would be Baba again. It turned out it was Nio, but we did see the setup. Just got to hang on to it next time.
Yeah, a ton of strength right across the board when it comes to those Chinese stocks again. We'll talk about Alibaba, JD. We'll talk about Pinduoduo coming up here a little bit because they were one bright spot this morning that, we came into a market that looked like it was going to try and rally back from the past couple of days. More monkeypox. That's the watch list, by the way. Grab that, won't you? Every single day we send it out before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free. Keep that in mind. More monkeypox coming through right now in New York City. It looks like new cases being reported. So SIGA just popped up on big volume spike here, up 7.5%. This one went crazy. If you remember a couple of weeks back, just took out 1050 there for SIGA. GovX was the other main one that was in that monkeypox group, but we can have a look at GovX here. Volume already dying off on these. So anyways, it is the day before, the day that we'll get the next rate increase, guys. So as I said, the market kind of back and forth, chopping around here. 0.2 for the S&P. Volume pretty quiet this afternoon, ahead of, as we expect now, 0.75 of an increase coming tomorrow.
Yo! Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a great day trading. I think we have a lot of opportunities to trade tomorrow, and we're going to be here to trade it with you. And you found no better place, hopefully, to help guide us through what's going to be happening tomorrow in the markets. The only place. I like that, Neil. What was I thinking right there? As I'm still continuing to trade. And look, today we nailed it right on. Come over to my screen here. Possible inside day. We talked about that at 8:30 today. And then so if we look at, and thanks for looking at the sticky note again, 90 likes likes today. We got to get over 1,000 likes on this closing show, so please start hitting it right now. There's SIGA, nicely done to the upside. But if you look at the NASDAQ right here, I mean, how much more sort of inside can we get here? The market opens up right at this level. This is 830 right here, 11,450. All right, we went down to 11,270, 200 points, went all the way back to the exact high where we opened up, then moved all the way back down, and guess what? We are now dead in the middle of the day's range here. So you get 11,450 high, 11,250 bottom. So how about 11,350? That's exactly where we are right now. So maybe we do have that crystal ball, or maybe it's just experience. But for right now, no surprise there. We're continuing to rock and roll here today. A couple good trades on. There's that nice move up for SIGA. Unfortunately, we are in the process of hiring, and we had a few decisions to make and so on and so forth. So in longer meetings, I think, than we anticipated here, and some of my positions are still from the morning.
We're doing it for you guys.
Yeah, so we didn't get out at the very, well, that's exactly right? We want to make sure that we find the right person to come through here. But just quickly about this SIGA, I mean, you still have these highs here of $13 to $14. Obviously, with more monkeypox cases, as Brennan just alluded to there, coming through from, I guess it was New York. That's not good. I remember sort of COVID. New York was sort of away from COVID for a bit. There were some cases down south that sort of started. And then, as soon as it hit New York, obviously, it really started to ramp up. Not that monkeypox, obviously. I'm no Dr. Scott Gottlieb, but I don't know enough about monkeypox to say that it's anything similar to COVID. Apparently it's not. I know enough about that. But, it's a nice move upside there. Don't really know if it's going to hold $10. But SIGA today, definitely some nice bottoms here at $10. I mean, if you're going to look at it, forget about the open. We started at $9.50. But this bottom here of $9.80, I don't trade these things the best. There's other traders on the stream right here that do. But honestly, $9.80, this looks like a decent bottom for me if you are worried about it. I think you can even go long now, $10.40 on this name. And then, even if you look at a 20-period chart, even if you went long right now, even after that big move, you still have quite a ways up, man. I mean, I look at this $11.50 as a possible area, but is there really going to be enough volume coming into these kind of names when we're a day away? I just don't know if there's enough interest to play this game right now here today. Maybe there is, but under 4 million shares for SIGA just seems light compared to what we've done the last couple of days. So, you know what, I guess I can just look at a daily chart to judge that. Yeah, I mean, big time, I think you guys can still see this, big time volume on some of those moves. And then today, it's just been decreasing here the last 4 or 5 days on daily volume. So maybe the interest is out of some of these names. I'm not per se looking at this. I have a few breakouts I want to trade here on the NASDAQ, and we'll talk about those as well. But right now, the NASDAQ just pulled back, so we're well away from that. I did want to, I know Neil has a lot to say, as we all do here, but I want to see, how did that BOBA 105 print? Because I didn't trade. Okay, so here it is. I just want to look at this just from you guys, because this is a trade I didn't make that we had scheduled. So here's the 105 break. Obviously, when it broke around noon, it didn't go very high. Retraced back to 103.80 before taking 106, and now right back down again. So just like BOBA, just like the market here, even this name doesn't want to seem to go. But your Nio was a good trade there for the trade of the day.
Well, it was a good experience. I got shaken out of it. Sometimes you choose the wrong one, and I'm guilty of doing that at times, where it's because they were both the same thesis and setup, and then BOBA was so good last week that I thought that would be the one that really won. We saw BOBA go, was it 110? Next thing you know, we're staring at 125. It just felt like that move was so powerful that if it happened again, I just wanted to catch that half that magic in a bottle. And today, Neil put that kind of a percentage move. Just worth noting, SIGA running down, or not that much volume. GovX, the other monkeypox stock, I had to say a little slower because I don't want to mess it up. This is actually booming on volume right now, getting to $1.50, so up 25%. It is making a run. Maybe a bit more room to go. It just bounced off the 50 period on the daily, but these have come back. This is half what it was at the peak when this first spiked. However, it's a pretty solid breakout on the 15-minute at 130, and you got to think this 150. I mean, you're just talking about last week, your close at 150. That could be a little bit of resistance. It breaks through there. Room to $2. So the monkeypox stocks definitely going to be in play here. I just think from what I can see, it looks like GovX is a little bit more exciting than SIGA. As I talked about it, it just broke that 150. Let's see if it can hold a bit above right now. Yeah, actually, they just someone just bought a bunch of shares at 01s. So I'll get some shares at 02. Why not? Someone just got lit up. When they threw it on the offer, it went to 155. It came back down to 50. Someone threw a bunch of shares on the offer at 51 and got, as I like to say, insta-filled, which usually means you got buyers at these prices. So I slipped in at 02s. I'm going to scalp some out right now. That 150 already paying dividends. So, I was going to say follow the SIGA, but I can't because this is GovX.
Kind of a random move overall. I mean, it's obviously not the most recent time that we've seen more cases reported, but pretty intense volume coming into both. At this point, wanted to mention Twitter here, guys, real quick, simply because today was the day that Elon was supposed to have his meeting with employees of Twitter for the first time. He was going to speak directly to the employees. I saw during lunchtime, there was a lot of speculation on the Twitter mobile, if you want to call it that he was also, like, the actual deal was going to get announced during said meeting. So obviously nothing has happened, but Twitter up 1.5% here ahead of what is to be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's giving it all back.
Twitter?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like,
unless you're in the meeting, I mean, how do we even really know what they're talking about? Oh, Tesla got approved 3-to-1 stock split. I think we missed that the other. I mean, not that we missed it, but talking about some of that action there because Tesla,
we're not going to trade Twitter, but Tesla, man.
Yeah, we just skip Twitter right away over to Tesla. But
one day I don't trade Tesla. The one day.
It bounced right off that level clean,
I mean,
right?
give like double bottom and then right to 680. Like, what's our resistance level right now on Tesla?
What's my name?
It's 680. It just bounces right to 680. Oh, and to boot, you know what makes this even better? 666. Like, it double bottom, went right to 666, put in a consolidation, then broke out from 666, right to 680, and now is consolidating beneath 666. It's like being punished for not trading it. That, like, the favorite price levels just all came into play and held up perfectly on Tesla. But I would say, like, the reason why you get that Twitter weakness is at this point, the level of frustration that shareholders must have. If you're a shareholder in Twitter, you're just like, what is the next step here, man? Like, what are we doing? The deadline isn't until October. There is zero certainty around this deal. The spread isn't just huge, it is gigantic. The downside risk with the market making fresh lows. Remember, people have said if this deal doesn't go through, it's not a $30 stock. People have said 25 to 30. That was, 8 to 10% ago on the ES? So I'm not sure what that valuation is right now, but this is one of those situations where it's incredibly frustrating because if Elon was going to ask for a lower price, I'm a little surprised that hasn't happened already. So I no longer even know what to think about that. You know, like I don't know whether to say that he's still trying to get a lower price. He shows up at that meeting, which seems to me like he's still serious about it. At this point, the risk to reward is about as impossible to sort of quantify as anything else. Like, I can't remember a deal where I think nobody knows how to price this. And that's what you're reflecting. So you're just seeing a wide range. I think all you can do is try to find support at the low of the day. And if it puts you a double top at the high of the day, something like today, like your only play is, it puts a top there, short it off the high. Oh, it's got a bottom from the pre-market at 37.50. Okay, we'll try the long at 37.50 because everything else is just blowing anybody out that tries to arb this because, quite frankly, it's the biggest toss-up out there, what the next move is going to be for Elon and Twitter.
I'm right now, as we speak, I'm answering people's questions on Twitter here, and someone said, he said, this person's trying to steal my crypto wallet. You know what it is? It's at Trader, but with a Q, TRAQ. It's just like some of these names that are happening there, and I just want to do like because I know it's also happening to my man over there, Pradley, as well as all of us are experiencing this, unfortunately, right now. And that is that there's a lot of fake accounts out there. So please make sure that if you're following myself or Neil or Prad or anybody at the Trader TV Live team, that it's at Trader TV Neil or at Trader TV Sean, things like that, because there are a lot out there. So make sure that we would never ask you guys. We don't have any other training courses or anything like that, let alone asking for crypto or, just understand who we are and that there are people out there that are trying to take advantage of everybody every day. So be careful with that one. And then also another thing here, because I'm on the Twitter, we used to do a question and answer period with members, right? That was pretty fun. Maybe we got to do that again. And then the other thing, okay, so right now, first of all, I said there were some NASDAQ levels that I liked here. AMD is one of those. AMD right now breaking back to the long. We just took down that 50 period. Now we're going to start to go back up to the upside here. AMD today, nice couple bottoms there. And I just, I like breaking through the 50 period, starting to go back to the upside right now. So we'll see if this one can work out. We are now long into advanced micro. And we're only long at 87.05. So we're just long right now. It touched VWAP, which was at 10. I hope that wasn't a water bottle like all over keyboards and stuff like that in the background, but there it is. And the other thing I want to say about all this was I am getting your messages, and look, it's hard for us because Valeria used to bring us the questions and things like that in the chat. So I know Bears vs. Bulls is working on it. We're trying to get a little bit of a better system until AMD, until Valeria can be replaced, then we're going to have to sort of try to look up and get to the questions as best we can. And there's no way that we are trying to ignore members. I mean, we would. If you're a member, we're going to try to answer your questions first. It's $5 a month, but that's sort of the point of it there. And there is one there for Brendan if you want to take that, Neil. I know you're reading it right now.
Trillionaire, they're asking, I'm up over 300% on DWAC puts. Thank you to the breaking news. You're more than just a pretty haircut. We know that to be true, although Ian has a good haircut as well. I think for one day at least, Ian took over from Brendan with the greatest fade out there. But yeah, it's an invaluable service, an unbelievably valuable service that Brendan provides, real time giving you that news. It's all about a catalyst. You want to make sure there is a catalyst there. As I say that, GovX failed to break, so I did have to get out of the last of that trade. But Nio's doing this. The market just bounced a little bit here. Obviously, I know you're talking about that, Sean. But Nio holding the shelf. So, that short off at 19. So it broke 19, got to 1909, reclaimed 19 and consolidated lower. So it's that short off the high of the day. But it's not breaking up. That's a good sign for the short position that you're getting a bounce in the market, but this isn't going anywhere. The other one, I do not want to forget this. And I said this yesterday, and we were not close to this price. But we got almost there today in Shopify. So I'm on the bid in front of 300. Shopify just went to 301 and bounced 250. I'm kind of kicking myself because I feel like that's close enough and I should have had this trade because I've been waiting around for this level, and it's kind of bottomed here, 302.5, 301. And each of these bounces, like you're talking $7, $8 from the 301 bounce, $8. It's already put in $2 here. So it's probably worth it to just take the long at 301 on Shopify and not worry about that whole, you have to have as close to 300 as humanly possible if your stop's going to be down there. I think you forget about that because the range it's willing to put in is rather large. I'm going to step just a little bit in front of it because I just want to make sure I'm getting this bid or at least a shot at catching these dip buys. 300 breaks, I'm out of this, and I'm not even thinking about holding on to a long through 300 on Shopify, but down 3%, relatively weak today, but some great bounces off the 300 area.
Speaking of bounces, I was just noting, guys, some of the tech group, Sean, you were talking about AMD there, but some of the tech group trying to bounce here, Apple included, up 0.8 now. There was some volume coming in back through to 133. If you missed it this morning, there was a note from JP Morgan talking about some financial expectations going forward on the streaming side of things and the fitness side of things for Apple. So, I mean, you don't really have to look much further than these to get a picture of what the overall market's doing today.
Oh, so we'll go money right now because, some of these tech names, Brendan, as you mentioned, starting to go back. Yes, sir. Look at this AMD trade, guys. We just put this on long through 87. You're at 87.30. We've been scalping this out, so we're getting close to being out of everything as we speak, but we're still going to go longer right now on these stocks. Look, I think tomorrow is a positive thing. I think they're going to go 75 points. Really happy about that. When they do that, that means tech to the upside there because tech does not like lower rates. When you're growth stocks, when you're trying to get going on some of these names like an AMD, they need investments, they need some money to be pumped in there. So growth stocks definitely like that. And look, we were just at 87.30, right? We were able to get out at 30 exactly, and then the move now is coming the other way, right? So just be very, very careful with some of these. We've been long Apple all day, and like I said, it really looks silly because to not get out right there is crazy. But at the same time, defending some of these bottoms, right? But just because I think tomorrow's going to be a good day doesn't mean that we just rest on this theory, right? I mean, we're going to be here to trade, and we're going to try to make a little bit of cash here. So honestly, if these levels start to break and not hold, then we're not going to, sit into these. But right now, Apple just sort of dancing around. I like the longs there. I'm also long on Microsoft right now. And again, that's going to look silly that we didn't get out. But those of you that were watching me trade all day, and again, thank you so much for all the nice comments there on Twitter and everywhere, basically, about that. But, these longs down there, that's why we sat in these longs. We just thought, hey, if we get taken out near the bottom, we get taken out. Fine. We don't have too much risk. And I mean, honestly, to go long at 242 and to get out on a 242 break, I mean, you're not taking that much risk there. And then look at the upside, 245.60, right? So we think this is still going to continue. We're going to wait to see about these imbalances. But, I turned this guy around earlier. Remember, he was a bear earlier on. I put him into a bull. I don't know, man. I don't know if the market's going to stay green. We talked about Miss V.
He should be half today, man. It's just...
You want to morph him into something here?
The thing is, look, it's a basically flat day in the market in which you've tested the bottom and held it several times. That looks a little weird, but
that's what I'm saying. But
it's
the truth. Maybe it gets the idea.
You can't fake it. We're not breaking the lows at this point. The NASDAQ did retrace to the highs, and we're still inside the range. And I know the ES is down, right? So you do have a slightly downward trend, and that's because there are a lot of individually weak names out there. But overall, we're not breaking out, and it's the day before the Fed, which I don't think that's crazy. But just quickly here, because I want to get to Square. Square is in front of $60. I want to get back to shorting the pops on this thing. I think it was pretty obvious this morning. It was the same thing as yesterday, where it just gave you that shelf break and then a couple of lower highs that you could work off of. And then the same thing for this morning. Missed out on this all throughout lunchtime, getting back in every time it popped to 62. At this point, I'm thinking 61.5 in VWAP. I'm shorting any pop on Square. A 60 break is in the cards if we do get a break of the lows. Block has been under a lot of pressure. Always watch out for spot prices on Bitcoin, just in case. That is a bit of a thing that you have to watch out for. But 60 even is going to stand out like a sore thumb if we can get down there. It got to 21s earlier. And your boy, Softy, just made a nice little bounce there.
Yeah.
So a lot of things were barcoding just now. But Microsoft, again, one of the relatively strong names holding the market up, right? Like, this is where you get hard bottom off yesterday's low, supports yesterday's low, makes the break. You'd say it fails the break, gets to the high, pulls back, and is continuously making a higher low. So I think you've got new support at 243 on Microsoft. As long as the futures don't break the bottom, that looks pretty good to me. 243 half if you want to get really picky about the exact price area here. But you have VWAP as support as well at 43 for Softy, which has been relatively strong.
Yeah, so I just, before we go back over to Brendan there, I did want to explain what I said about growth stocks and interest rates, right? So shout out to you, Dan Green. Thank you for mentioning that there in the chat. No, what I sort of, and I realize what I said, that's why I want to explain this again. I think it's the certainty of rising rates, right? And it's just the fact that, right now, everyone's thought that the Fed has been behind the curve, and I think that that's been quite obvious. I think they've even sort of admitted that to some extent. So I think tomorrow, by going that extra 0.25% there, up to 75, a quarter of a point, sorry, up to 75, sort of gives the market and some of these tech stocks that breathing room, because hopefully we can go 50 the next time or even 75 and then maybe start to regroup again. So it's just like, I feel that they only did 50, and I think that's why the market today is kind of thinking about a rally anyways, and not down that 5% like it was yesterday, is that we got Goldman that came out this morning and said that, it looks like they priced it in. I mean, when we go back to Brendan, we can call up the Fed rate tool as well down here, but it's like it changed from 98%, 50 points, to 61% or something, 75 points. I don't even know what it is right now, but the point is that the market likes that. They like to have a little bit of certainty that the Fed is kind of admitting their mistakes by not rolling forward. And I just feel that if we just kept going 50, 50, 50, 50, we still get to the same end game, but I'm not sure that that's great. And I feel like AMD, Meta, some of these bigger tech names would continue to fall on some of that uncertainty. So again, obviously not an economist here or anything like that. I just look at the way that stocks have related to some of that news. And to me, it seems like that little extra bump that we're going to get tomorrow is good for some of these names. They're starting to hold up. I expect that we get a flush tomorrow. And then someone else said that for me to say the market's going to be up tomorrow is a little silly. Why? I mean, the last time they cut rates, I think it's actually, now it was horrible. It started to decline, but that day
it bumped up.
Is a different story,
and
right?
Then you had like I think the last time it was like a temp rally. We're talking day trading and short-term trading, right? So you had a temp rally, and I get that. Like in the aftermath, in the days after that, sure, that rally was short-lived, but it's a bear market. Every rally is short-lived in a bear market, but that hasn't meant that that we haven't had these types of rallies. Now, obviously coming off a 3/4 point, we get it, like fundamentally. I'm probably leaning toward the notion that it's going to be short, but I remember thinking the same thing the last time as well, and quite frankly, I'm pretty sure I was shorting that day and getting smoked in the afternoon. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I'm wrong about that. I think I lost on all my shorts in the afternoon the last time they raised. So again, we're talking short-term day trades. Brendan, there's been obviously, it's all over the place where that board has been, like the expectations, but currently where it's standing, it seems like we know what we're going to get tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, what a difference a day makes. If you remember this time yesterday, it was the exact opposite, essentially. 88.9 right now. If you joined us in the pre-market, this was 91. I think it was 91.3 in the pre-market. Yesterday at this time, it was 70-30 the other way. So what a difference a day makes. So yeah, almost 90%. We go 75 basis points tomorrow to the upside. Couple things as well, while I have you. Boeing, as I mentioned, announced some delivery numbers for not only the full year, but individual month deliveries in May that were better than expected. So Boeing, guys, just took out the day high there on some big volume. Boeing's up 3.5%.
I thought about something else here before we go on, because I can't leave things alone. Sentiment, I think, is a great thing about the market, right? And that's how the market trades. And I just feel like you may get a switch in the way, people view the markets once Fed is more ahead of the curve. I don't think they're ever going to get ahead of the curve, but if they were, look, we know tightening and easing. They've very much given you that dot plot now, I hope. Anyways, it's just funny that they took off 75 points and then now it's right back on the table, and more likely than not. So I just think that's how the market.
You know what it's like?
Yeah.
It's like when I tell my daughter, you know what? You lose the tablet for the rest of the week.
Don't ever say that.
For the rest of the week, if you don't eat your vegetables tonight.
Damn, Nio.
And then it's like, you know what? Like, she doesn't actually finish them, and then she's got the tablet 25 minutes later.
Yep.
But that's the only analogy I can come up with. But that's what happens when you're being reactive. In that particular case, like, you just read the room. We understand that it's not going to be worth. I don't want to die on that sword.
Right.
I'm too tired. I can't deal with it. The fight's not worth it. And for the Fed, it was inflation ran way harder than they could anticipate. And if they didn't react to that, the market would be like, what in the heck is wrong with you? And it would have been way worse. Now, on Boeing's note, look, if you're talking relative strength, 3.5% is super strong. You got a wipeout bottom on Boeing. We have a triple top here at 120. It's 120 and change. I can zoom in on the 3 minutes so you can see a bit better. You got these 3 wick tops here through 120 even, where we've rejected this price. Now, I just got the dip in front of 240, 243.5 on Microsoft. I should probably scalp some of it out at 1-to-1, quite frankly, because the futures are back down toward those lows and looking like the ES is right back on those lows. So you definitely want to get in and out of your longs as quickly as possible. But that kind of works for Boeing in the other direction, where super strong, positive catalyst, at a high at 120. But if you're going to show me these wick tops, all I want to see is just put another one in. Just make another test at that high of the day and show me that you can't hold 120. And then I want a 119.85, 90-ish short, maybe on a consolidation, because you've got room down in the VWAP. And that way, if the market pulls back, you've got a tremendous amount of profit takers out there, because in this kind of a market, there will always be profit takers when something is strong and the market's breaking lows, and you know exactly where your out's going to be. And that's going to be if you can finally get through that high and make a fresh high. Now, I don't want to make that trade as it's trying to break out. I'd much rather see a rejection of this 102 again. I did mention Microsoft. We just got into that one, so I'll show it to you there. And this will be, what's that wick to 235? I'll clean that up. There you go. So we just bounced and been making these little bounces off 243.50 and then these little higher lows that it's been putting in here. And it's been essentially a dollar range. So when the market is range bound, what do you think you should do? Play inside of the range, right? So that's what we decided to do on Microsoft. If we can clear through this 244 quarter, great. We'll try to hold it for 45s. Otherwise, reject that. I'll have to get out. Nio was looking fantastic. And then it finally made a little bit of a break here, so it's trying to get back up toward that 19. I'm going to hold off reloading because I'd be reloading a short off the high of the day in NIO when the market's at the low. If the market were to bounce off the low, there's no point. Like, I'd rather be adding to this position if the market is breaking the low of the day, because there's so much room for Nio to come down. I don't want to do that if we're bouncing, adding to the short. I'd rather be adding if the market's taking the bottom, because this is about the strongest trend. It's up 18%. It's the strongest trending stock in the market.
I'm teasing a couple people here on the chat because we have yet to remember, Neil, what day it is today. Do you remember? I didn't realize you're grabbing some food there. It is.
A little awkward, man.
It's a very special Tuesday. And I'll leave it.
Sorry.
Don't. We will wait.
I shouldn't.
We will wait to announce it.
I shouldn't talk with my mouth full.
Very soon. By the way, my dog tag, it only has my son's fingerprint on it. My daughter's thumbprint broke off. But oh, I hope he just didn't get on camera there. But we have teased it enough. But you are going to be getting something special in the next 10 minutes or so. It's what everyone's been waiting for. It's what I've been waiting for. Tuck my chain? Why? What? Oh, it's hitting the mic. Yeah, okay. All right, thanks, Fahad, for that one. So we'll put the chain back in there, but I just wanted to show it to everybody.
Too big.
The chain's too big, man. That's the thing. You know, that's the problem, right? Made of straight stainless steel. You know how I'm doing it right now. But no, we are getting ready for
not like that dude from Chicago back in the day.
For a very, very special. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Soon we're gonna make so much money. I'm just gonna be wearing this crazy ass necklace. It's gonna be like boom, and then Fahad can't say anything. It's gonna be like boom right there. But all right, over to Brendan as we have 10 minutes until our special segments.
I was just looking at DAWN, big runner from yesterday, guys. Dawn was up on positive news yesterday, just about to take out the highs here. So a heads up on some of these low float stocks starting to go here as well. I was reading through a note on Boeing as well, but there was nothing terribly exciting on that. But I can show you, if my chart will load, exactly what I was meaning here for DAWN back towards the high. But hey, that's my chart. There you go.
Is it an NY though?
I thought Dawn's a NASDAQ stock. I know, but it's NASDAQ. It'll freeze on it.
I
However, there was a bit of a wick top there on Sloppy. They said if we had the slightest sign of trouble getting through the high, just get out of it and then work back toward that low. Like, you want to keep testing these bottoms. We'll scalp it every single chance we get. That's the kind of market we're in, fair enough. Boeing making some power moves there. I'm still chuckling over the fact that, like, the timing of that was perfect. We're not professionals. It's like, I know I finish a thought and it goes to Sean. I'm not on camera. That's my chance to be able to eat or do whatever nonsense I do. But it's what I love about the show. Like, we're not scripted. We have no idea what's going to happen here. But it is going to be funny when we get our guests, or fun when we get our guest on. And I have to thank him for furnishing me or getting me a fritter this morning. So if I'm in an extra good mood, it's because I had an apple fritter today. And then Prad gives me the fries from Super Chicken. So, you know, I'm static, man. Like, you know, all you got to do is satisfy the gut there, and I'll be a happy camper, man. You just don't want to get in front of me and a fritter. Like, that's what you wouldn't want to do. Don't stand between me and a fritter. Just make sure that you get me that fritter when I need it. It's just I'm feeling pretty good about it. I can't get this Boeing trade, which is frustrating to me. I was very close to getting this short off 120. And then the buyers just step right back in. So super strength here, not super strength in the market. I don't really think there's too much going on off these lows. I just sort of feel like we're not making a direction in this market overall, except for Tesla. I I know Sean just did the money.
Yeah, no, I just did the money thing because scalping it out. Like, it's more about what
you
you're
got to
talking
take the scalp
about.
trade because there's nothing great.
We just got out there. Yeah, I'll let you load up that Tesla chart. But right there, AMD went all the way back down. Unfortunately, we were waiting. Not unfortunately. I mean, it's fine. We were waiting here in the 60s. We didn't get any more shares. It just ripped back up. We'll take another piece of profit on that name right there. AMD, count it up. Microsoft is, again, back up to here. Debating counting this up as well. Up to $244.50. In the money, $2.33. The AMD trade we just put on, hopefully, like just at the beginning of the show, hopefully that'll come through. Actually at 220, we put that on, so that's going to be a good one for us. Working that to the upside goes AMD, Apple, and then I did have. So the thing is, I'm just looking at my board here. What was the next topic? I mean, we can go over to Brendan if it's anything to do with Facebook. I'm about to talk about it. Let's go back to Brendan, and then I'll get up the Facebook trade.
No, it's all
Rundown.
It's been 5 minutes or so.
Oh, okay, the rundown's all good. What was the last topic?
I couldn't even load a chart. I was just like, I can't load a chart.
Huh? Oh, we never had it up in the first place. Okay. Hi, hey guys, what's up? Right now, apparently I'm on the show, so let's just keep on going with it. So again, all right. Before we go, you guys want trades? Let's talk all about trades then. Well, 164.50 on Meta. So, you know. Now we're way off of it. Okay, so we're gonna have to regroup on that. I thought a break through all of this, we wanted to go long. So that was 164.50. Meta right now baselining, but this name's been weak. I mean, look at the market positive. Meta's been weak. I just thought that we were going to go for a jog there, but it doesn't look like that's the case. And now that I see this, and we talked about the market doing absolutely nothing, I feel like the power hour could be much more of the same. We got one spike back to day's high. We may test the day's low again, but either way, I feel like we sit in here. So we shouldn't go. Whoa, shoot! I just hit close. We shouldn't go. Sometimes it doesn't happen more. We shouldn't go against our gut of the market here. On any of these trades. So if we're thinking it's going to come back down, let's not go long on a stock that's minus 0.4, because if we're wrong on that, then it's going to go down a lot more than a stock like a Softy here that is clearly 3 times the market. I mean, it's more than that, but you get what I'm saying here. This is a much safer long than anything like Meta. So I'm actually going to cancel that Meta script now that I see how it's reacting to a pull down. I mean, look at Microsoft. It's pulling back, right? The market's pulling back. I'm going to get a Softy on a 244 break. So let me just put that in right now because, again, we're going to try to capture as much profit on the inside as we can. 240, I'll just cross it down. So right there. And you might have just saw me put in a stop order. I think that's another important thing. We often get asked, how do we trade mechanically, so on and so forth. So right there, watch. There goes Microsoft, and I should be out. There it is. So there's the out on Microsoft. We'll spin it. Still a $2 winner, but again, you don't want to hold these things forever, right? I mean, the market's there, it broke down. Even just to save a little bit of money, I don't care how many shares you have, 100 shares, 10 shares, 5 shares, 1,000 shares. It's better if you are debating, it's crossing certain levels, it's hitting certain things. We're going to get out of those, and if it pops back up, it pops back up, right? The same thing here for Apple. Now that we look at this, that started to break down. I'm going to give Apple a little bit more room. Not that big of a position here. I like Apple a little bit better than I liked Softy. They're up both about the same. The difference here with Apple, of course, is we have these bottoms. Same thing as Softy. Softy bottom 242, a little bit further away. Maybe we get a reload here on Apple to the downside, but I'm thinking about defending Apple at 132.30 right now and taking a little bit more on this name. So Apple still in that. AMD, my plan of action there. So that's what we're looking at. A couple more minutes, and then we can hit that segment divider, boys. A couple more minutes.
But I just wanted to first shout out to Bears versus Bull, as always, doing a fantastic job moderating the chat and making sure that we don't miss out on certain things. So I did see we had a question. So it was Drew was asking about RKLY. It's getting added to the Russell 3000 on the 27th. So this is like you get the semi-annual rebalances in the major indexes, so you tend to see a lot of activity around the June rebalances and the December rebalances, and a lot of names are going to be in play. Now, there was a couple today. I actually traded in, oh goodness, what was the symbol? That was EYE. They were gapped up, added. It didn't hold support. Just because it's getting added to the index doesn't mean it has to go up. However, a lot of times you will see the stock gradually move up going into that imbalance. Now, It's not always true. But the preliminary list was released earlier. I think that was probably at the beginning of the month for the Russell. So this is not necessarily, something that is, unknown to the market. You are seeing it up today, that 8%. And look, it's pretty appealing. It's got a double bottom. You're like, oh, it's above $2. Your risk to reward is like 10, 15% that it could make the rally. All I would simply say is if you make a swing trade or anything like that based on it being added to the index, if you get a significant move anywhere within 2 weeks of when it's actually getting added, sometimes it's not a bad idea to take that profit because there's no surprises to anybody. And a lot of times when people that track the indexes have to buy the stock, those days and it gets added and it might be balances to the upside, those can get paired off because it's an exit point. For anyone that wants to sell a chunk of it, they know there's buyers that'll come in for that reason, and a lot of times you'll see some sell action. So if you are, you're thinking about a trade or you got one on here, just don't sleep on it. This thing is at like 350 or 330 or something in a week or so. We are getting close to the end of the month. We're 2 weeks away essentially, 2 weeks away from the end of the month. But we got witching next week essentially when the imbalances are going to happen. And if you get a pop, sometimes I say you really just got to take it. Before that day happens. But this one's the 27th, so it is the end of the month. But if you get a pop, I would take the profit and run if you get anywhere close to 3 on it, assuming you got it long.
All right, you can't say it any better than we can here. Thank you so much for the super chat. Chris Picks, Bears versus Bulls. Great moderating, great engaging as well. So I want to thank everybody. I'm going to be looking out for these green guys here. If you are green, that means you are a member. So we're definitely on look for that. And again, we apologize for missing anything, but that is why, part of the reason why we have Bears versus Bulls with us. So thank you so much for that. And without any further ado, hit it, boys. Hit it, boys. All right, well, we'll bring in Tony now. Anyway, when you guys are ready, we do have a great segment divider for you there, Tony. So back by popular demand, Tony's in the building. Everybody behind us getting excited as well. So, Tony, how have you been?
Oh, I've been well. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the markets, however, seeing what happened after the CPI release back on Friday. Portfolio is getting killed, at least on my end. I hope your guys' day trading has been looking a little bit better than my personal account. But the markets, I think, are being absolutely slaughtered right now.
Any opinion on crypto, Tony? I don't think we've asked you too much about that. Do you yourself hold any crypto, trade any crypto? It seems like the risk involved with cryptocurrency is right up your alley.
Absolutely. With the recent Celsius network news and then them halting the withdrawals. Hey, there we go.
There we go. I like that one. Do that again. I like the pointing. Can we do that again? That is Tony's move. If you guys are ready, let's throw that up one more time if you can get it. I like the pointing because that was part of the first dance that he had. There, yeah, buddy. The pizza's in the background. I like that one. But sorry, Tony, go ahead there about the Celsius network. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Liz, by the way, our graphic designer, for creating that nice animation. Wonderful work done by the back office for everything. But Celsius network halting withdrawals. People are saying it's a bank run for a lot of these crypto CeFi networks that pretty much take investors' money and invest it. Granted, to their defense, they're vocal and they do say what they do with the money. But when you have a downturn in Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market, and everyone wants their money back, they run into a bit of a liquidity problem, and that's, I think, what we've been seeing with the Celsius network recently after the downturn in the crypto markets. But yeah, people are saying crypto winter is already here, and who can say otherwise with a lot of mass layoffs coming on with the crypto exchanges. I saw Coinbase this morning announce they're laying off something like 18% of their workforce, about equating to 1,100 jobs. Crypto.com and Gemini also following suit, laying off a significant portion of their workforce. And I think this is the part within the recession where we start seeing higher unemployment starting to come across, especially in the growth sector, with these mass layoffs. And I was always wondering, do you guys hold any crypto perchance in your personal accounts or your investment accounts?
Crypto? Nah, never heard of it.
We've never heard of it. I think we did talk about this, I think, on Friday a little bit. Like, I'm a 1-2 punch guy, obviously. And it's been that's Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think, obviously. But like, it's, as you said, obviously the whole crypto winter and some of the exchanges that have gone down. But I think what's more interesting to me is what can happen as we get to this 21 number. Because if you've been following the MicroStrategy thing, right? Like Sailors, they have a gigantic position, obviously, in Bitcoin. It was leveraged, and so they had to take a loan from Silvergate to finance that. And then at the time, they had about, I think the average price was 30,700 or whatever it worked out to be, and everyone said they get to 21,000, they get a margin call. Now nobody actually knows, or to my understanding, nobody actually knows as we get down here and touch below 21,000 very briefly, whether or not they have already put up more collateral, has their position changed in any way, shape, or form, so are they still subject to said margin call? And I have no idea if that's true. If it's not true, then maybe everyone's making too much out of this. But imagine a situation where they had to post. You could see tremendous down push on Bitcoin. That's why everyone's been watching this level. Like, it ticked below, and I think it was a lot of people online and Twitter were like, oh my goodness, 21,000. And then we immediately kind of came right back. It's kind of turned into this, it's kind of turned into this support level for Bitcoin simply because of MicroStrategy. And I don't know if there's anything else other than that why 21,000 is now such a big deal. But really, when you have Ethereum you're trying to hold on to 1,200. I mean, everything has been under so much pressure. And I don't think there's any signs that we're done. I would say this: if we get a temp rally into the Fed tomorrow or after Fed tomorrow, then you have a tremendous amount of upside, at least for a short-term trade in Bitcoin. Because given how it fell in the last few sessions, relative to what the market has done, if we get any kind of a bounce, there's a lot of room to run to the upside there. And I do feel it's going to just follow risk assets at that point, because it's just another risk asset out there, Tony. So we talked about not knowing which platform is going to win, which one is the best. I'm not going to be able to tell you that. But I can tell you they're just going to follow risk assets for the next little bit. Brendo?
Just quickly, guys. AUVI just popping up on a volume scanner here. Just double checking. There's nothing new. Don't see anything. But a big move here anyways. Nice day here for AUVI. Another one of those low float stocks trying to go.
Tony just went long it.
Yeah, just quickly here. This is why we get out of Microsoft. 244 out, it's at 243. So remember I said, regardless of the shares you have, you save yourself $1 there on the downside, right? So that appears to be a nice little out there. So we'll go flush down the toilet for Softy as that's going. And then right now we're flushing ourselves down the toilet there because AMD was one of the ones that we want to take a last little shot at. Looks like it's going to... Oh, is my order? Where's my order? I'm just realizing that right now. Yeah, I'm going to take it a little bit lower now into that. We'll take one more average in here at 50. I'm just realizing that there is that out right here, that little wick bottom that I want to try to respect. That's 86.40 right there. So sometimes I don't like to announce where all these stops are, but that 86.40 I think is a decent stop level here for AMD as we start to climb back up. So just to let you guys know that, trying to be, okay, here we go, back upside a little bit. We'll take a little bit of pressure out here for flat as it comes back in now. So again, same price. We just got it down to 73 right there. Now it's starting to go back upside. If we can take another piece out here, high 70s, we'll probably do that. And then just continue our sort of scalp trade here on AMD. So right now we're long at 70. We're flat on this trade, and just back down here to 86.40 is sort of where we wanted to look at that as an out. So I just adjusted it. It was at 50 there, but now let's go to 40 as I see that bottom wick. So hopefully that will hold out. Apple's still holding out okay right now as well. But this market, Tony, you've been following anything with interest rates or anything like that? You have a prediction tomorrow? I know we're at 90%, 75 basis points. I guess that's probably what you're going to be going with.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been hearing talks about 75 pretty much a sure thing. It's crazy. If you would have mentioned that just a couple months ago, people would have thought you're a bit out of your mind. But with the CPI again coming in a bit too hot, a lot of assets are being destroyed, and people are saying 3% federal funds rate is now likely. So coming hopefully not for a long time, but with how hot interest rates pretty much are at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes sooner or later. Absolutely destroying a lot of asset classes, as Nio was talking about over there, about MicroStrategy and their Bitcoin. Bitcoin yesterday, I believe, broke below 2,100. Very interesting support level there. A lot of headlines coming out, I believe, with MicroStrategy having one of their $205 million loans from Silvergate coming in due. If they have, they'll get a margin call at around 21,000, but I believe they have a lot more unpledged Bitcoin that they can use as additional collateral, is what I've been hearing. Interestingly, with that, I saw that for the largest Bitcoin wallets actually I had pulled up a moment ago. MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy has the third largest Bitcoin wallet out of all wallets pretty much in existence. Pretty much when you think about the 17 million Bitcoin in circulation at the moment, and the fact that around 20 million Bitcoins are estimated, or 20% of the Bitcoin, I should say, are estimated to be lost. MicroStrategy pretty much owns 1% of all the current Bitcoin in circulation that isn't lost. And so they're only behind the cold wallets of Bitfinex and Binance. So they are in fact one of the largest holders. I believe they've taken out substantial corporate debt to finance their position, but from what I understand, they still can post more and more collateral if Bitcoin goes lower and lower and lower. But yeah, fascinating times for MicroStrategy. And I know it's not the first time Bitcoin has seen a major correction during the first massive bull run when Bitcoin was breaking 10,000 and 15, and then finally 18 is where it peaked. A lot of people back then, when we didn't have crypto on Robinhood or Webull, it wasn't quite easy getting on a lot of these crypto exchanges. And so people are trying to find some crypto stocks to play around with. Some of you guys may or may not know that the roots of a lot of the popular Bitcoin stocks these days had very interesting beginnings. In fact, a lot of these stocks have long predated Bitcoin. Riot Blockchain, one of the largest Bitcoin miners, I believe, at least in the States, now at $5 or under $5, peaking at $82, back last year. But this company actually has existed since the year 2000. Of course, as far as I'm concerned, blockchain and Bitcoin didn't exist all the way back then. This company was founded as Monaxis. This was actually a biotech company, if you can believe that. This was a company founded for around 16 years and doing biotech research about appendicitis or something to that effect. Unfortunately, their drug got rejected by the FDA, and they bought another biotech company, Bioptics Diagnostics, and that didn't work because they ran out of money to develop the product that they were working on. And so the CEO of that company left. They hired a random guy off the board of directors, and this guy knew nothing about biosciences, and then decided, hey, let's become a Bitcoin company. And that's exactly what happened after they renamed themselves to Riot Blockchain. So interestingly, that made the stock go up 500% back during a full massive bull run, and now Riot Blockchain, no longer a pharmaceutical company, no longer a biotech company, but interestingly, the shareholders are quite happy with that, I'd say, in the long term. Another company, Marathon Digital, was once Marathon Patent Corp. And this company was pretty much a parent company of Unilock, a patent troll. They pretty much just try to fall for a bunch of patents without the intent to really develop the technologies behind them, with the intent to sue other developers. They sued Microsoft and Mojang, the company behind Minecraft at the time, a handful of occasions, and they recouped quite a bit of money from that, actually. But anyhow, this is another company that decided that they're going to become a Bitcoin miner. And again, the market's quite like that, with the price of Bitcoin going up quite a bit. But this company was pretty much in existence since 1992, if you can believe it. So a lot of these companies long predate Bitcoin. And finally, you have the largest Bitcoin ETF in the world. And I'm not talking ProShares Bitcoin ETF strategy. I'm talking about Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, whereas some people have called it the past few days micro brain strategy, micro cap strategy, as Bitcoin has fallen quite a bit these days. But these guys have taken out substantial corporate debt to more or less finance their Bitcoin purchases, I believe with a higher average price than what it is now, close to around 30,000. But interesting to see where that stock would go. MSTR peaking at 1,200 or 1,300, I should say, last year, now all the way back down to $156. So, unfortunately not doing too well. And I think the main issue is with a lot of these, or why people kind of like to buy crypto stocks, is that your brokerage account is FDIC insured. Your Bitcoin holdings on the Celsius network or Mt. Gox or Quadriga CX, that's not quite insured. And so your other option, if you really want to have the peace of mind, is to hold a nano ledger, to hold your Bitcoin physically. But for someone like myself, I'd probably lose that ledger. I'd rather trust my money with the Celsius network. At least they might give me back my money. But nonetheless, BITO is a good way to get exposure to the Bitcoin. This is an ETF that holds Bitcoin futures. If you look at their holdings, they're pretty much holding the front month and the back month cryptocurrency or CME futures for Bitcoin. And so people have been, I know a lot of diehard crypto fans that really don't like this ETF, and they say, oh, it's going to depeg from the actual Bitcoin at some point or another. And I think the main concern with that is that there's counterparty risk when you buy these Bitcoin futures. There's no actual delivery on the CME Bitcoin futures. It's not like you're buying wheat or corn or gold or oil or anything like that. These futures are cash settled. And so you better be hoping your counterparty is well collateralized to pay you in the event that you do win. But obviously, these are very leveraged, and it's up to CME clearing to make sure that you actually get paid. So when buying BITO, obviously you can't trade on the weekends, you can't trade when the market's closed, but the good alternative if you want that FDIC insurance to holding Bitcoin. But yeah, that's my little spiel about Bitcoin, and thank you all for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure being on today, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Wow, Tony, let's just do this one more time. I mean, I started it, Tony, with
Mic
asking,
drop.
I'm not sure if Tony has anything to say here about crypto, and then everybody, Tony, loving it. So thank you so much for everything that obviously you continue to bring to the Trader TV Live family. So I got to give a big shout out to you, Tony. You can look at the screen here, everyone.
yes.
We're right beside each other there. So thank you so much one more time again. Tony coming through. But any plans tonight, Tony, before we let you go?
Oh, I'm going to meet with one of my bosses tonight. We're having a little bit of social at the bar down on Bay, so hopefully that's going to be a nice experience. I'm not much of a drinker, though. I'm going to have to order myself a nice cup of orange juice while the rest of the guys, I think, have a nice beer. So.
I mean, you can throw a little bit of vodka in there, and then just for one, a little bit. Do you know what an orange juice and vodka is called?
Oh yes, I pour them all the time, though I don't really. Well, actually, no, I don't know the name of it though. If there's a good name for that.
Screwdriver.
Screwdriver. Oh, geez, how do
They
I
don't
not
call
know?
it that at the Rogers Center.
No, they just
They
tell
don't?
me what.
Is that?
I don't know.
Oh, you're just
put it
making
there.
that up. Yeah. Yeah, you pour a lot of them. Yeah. Doesn't people say, "Give me a screwdriver," or they just go vodka orange? Is that what they say?
Yeah, just vodka orange. I'm like, oh, we don't have orange, sorry, or maybe I'll pour something else for them. Usually.
Hold on a second. So you
like
pour
they're
them, you
gonna
pour
pour
them
one
all
out
the,
for
you
Tony.
pour them all the time, but you don't have any orange. I'm kind of curious as to how that
Well,
works.
sometimes we run out. They don't stock us very well over there, but that's Warehouse's issue. I just do what I can with what they give me.
Shots fired. Tony, thank you so much once again. If you guys have that, we can roll that one more time. Tuesdays with Tony. There it is. Thank you once again, Tony, my friend. Be well, enjoy your evening, and be safe with those straight orange juices. So thank you to Tony for coming through again. And Bears vs. Bulls, thank you, Tony. Bears vs. Bulls was saying, yo, don't worry, Tony's got the mic, that's for sure. You guys just worry about trading, so shout out to Bears vs. Bulls. And that's exactly what we did, man. We reloaded again on AMD down there in the low 60s, 63, and then we just got it all out here, 80s, 77s, 81s. It just bumped right back up. So, I mean, I don't need to be on the mics for you guys to understand what I'm trading. I've talked about the strategy over and over again. We will be averaging in one more time just to make sure we still have the trade out, and we do down here. Thank you, Tony, at 86.50 coming through. So we'll see if that can happen, and then the ultimate takedown would be right here, 86.40. But one more average in, and again, the reason why I'm doing this, you can see the market is fading, even though we've picked a good spot here. I can't really see. Hold on, let me put this up. The NASDAQ is now coming back down in here, so I feel like buying some of these bottoms has worked out pretty good for us. Now we'll wait to see if it can take out the highs. We're not trying to be too fancy with trading here. This is the power hour, and tomorrow is a powerful day. So we'll wait to see what comes through tomorrow. It's going to be.
You're not trying to be fancy?
I'm not trying to be too fancy. Nah, I'm not trying to solve the world's problems here. We're just going to try to day trade a little bit. And here it comes right back up to the upside again.
I was going to say, so hair not done, nails not done, and not everything big.
Right. Yeah. That's.
You know what the crazy thing was?
Who sings that? Though.
I actually don't remember who sings
hair
that,
done,
which I
nails
usually
done, everything big, the hair done,
right?
nails done.
Usually, if we know the lyric, we know who it is, but. We don't want to get too fancy. We want to take profit where it is. So I did get the Boeing trade. I'm not interrupting Tony because I don't want to get mobbed by anybody. But the 120 fail. We talked about the plan. I want to see it fail 120. Once it does, take the consolidation short. Got 84s. Took some out there in front of this last hump 1-to-1 for 50 cents. I'm looking for a bigger flush. Now that the market is taking the low on the ES and the NASDAQ's getting close, if we take the bottoms, I think we can get into something like VWAP. And Nio is a similar story, although when we load up here, I did try getting this. I did a wick top to 19, and I tried getting more shares at 90. I could not, and I did not chase it either. But we're still going to hang on to it. Now that the market has a chance to take out the bottoms, Nio, could we get to 1860 and possibly have some trouble? Yeah, I probably want to get out if that's the case. And the market is still holding the bottom. But if we break the low on the NASDAQ, at least get to the low on the NASDAQ, this has a chance to get back into the 50s or into VWAP. And of course, I can't help myself. Shopify 300 is here. I can't wait for this trade for a week. Or I think actually I mentioned this more than a week ago, but who knows? I think it was last week. 325 cents is the current bottom. I didn't take it any one of these times that it gave you $7, $8, $10. But I'll have it this time in the afternoon, down 4%. It's relatively weak. I'm not holding it through 300. I'm not like giving it give it to 299.50. Let's see how it trades below that price if it wants to. No. I'm just going to get out of 300 breaks. That's where my stop order is sitting. There's nothing crazy about it. I'm not going to get fancy with that trade by any shape of or stretch of the imagination. I did want to get into block. I wanted to fade into block just like this morning when we got 62.5. My chart wants to load. But instead, it didn't want to give a pop. It is just now, this is going to load. It's broken 60 anyways on Square. So this is falling like an absolute rock like the rest of the market. It just took the low of the day. I didn't want to short the bottom. I wanted to short a pop. I just never got a pop to be able to get in.
The market is sort of bouncing from these bottoms. I mean, I didn't average into this AMD, and it's not going to, I mean, if there's any names you guys want me to look at, we could do it. But just quickly here on a 52-week low basis today, let's go to Brendan first with some news, and then we'll come back and talk to the market.
Just regarding some EV stocks here, just seeing some comments from Elon, guys. Elon pointing out Lucid and Rivian specifically, saying, and I quote, they are tracking toward bankruptcy. So just saw both Lucid here, still up 2%, and Rivian pop up on volume there.
So
that's cold.
I just, look, like I'm involved with Tesla. I've said this a while, but like this Elon guy, honestly, I feel like he's becoming a little unhinged. You shouldn't, as a CEO of an EV company, I'm not sure you're allowed to come out, to be honest with you, and say that your competition is on the verge of bankruptcy. That, to me, that does not seem cool. I don't.
So the problem is,
I just like if I was a Lucid shareholder or Rivian shareholder, which I'm not, I'd be pretty pissed off, quite frankly.
Well, the SEC is going to have something to say.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is up with that, honestly?
The SEC is going to have something to say.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know. I know he has a lot of fans out there, so I'll be careful what I say. I just
First
feel
of all,
that's a little unhinged.
I love
That's all.
Elon Musk. It's just that, like, understand, like, if you run an EV company, right? Like, you are obviously privy to, sort of like supply issues, or maybe you don't know directly what's going on at your competition, but you do have a deeper understanding of some of the pitfalls and costs that they might be incurring, and then more insight than the rest. And that's just the kind of thing you don't go out and usually say. So that being said, Elon is not the kind of person you can tell him what to say. Realistically, he does move the markets, and if you're like, if I was long Lucid right now, and it's like, oh yeah, look at the stock, it's relatively strong, it's holding up near the high of the day. Oh, oops, now we just had a little bit of a rollover because of a random tweet. Like that can be a little bit frustrating, but it's not like it's falling like a rock.
Yeah,
it dropped 10 cents. Now, I don't know if I haven't looked at Rivian yet, so I'm gonna say, okay, Rivian dropped a little bit more than that. But I was going to say,
the market's in a little
but the market is also
The
breaking
market
toward low. So the timing of those comments, maybe he should have thrown Nio in there. Because if he had said Nio, heck, man, maybe we'd already be at VWAP, and then we could celebrate a bigger winner. But this had nothing to do with the Elon talk there. It's just the reversal off of 19. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to stop saying these things.
No.
I think it does put Tesla under a little bit of a microscope there as well, which can hurt the stock in general. But there's a lot weighing on it right now. I don't think he's helping the situation overall. I like the guy. I don't think he should say that. I'd be at least a little bit careful. You're breaking the lows of the day. If you got along in those stocks, they've been pretty strong. You probably want to take some profit here. But I think you were thinking that anyways, given where the market was, regardless of what he said.
Let's just go short then. I mean, honestly, like if that's what's going to come through right now for Lucid and Rivian, then I mean, let's just do it. And I don't want to say I think Super SPAC Man was like, but is he wrong? And I don't know.
He might not be.
He might not be, and that's fine. And I don't, I'm not here to say if he's wrong or right on this. I'm just saying like it'd be pretty disappointing here to see that. And you can see now Lucid slipping on that news as Neil was just talking about it. I believe we go short here until it takes some of those levels again. So let's just do that. I'm going to switch over here. AMD is probably going to come out of the market here in a minute, so that's not going to be a good trade for us. But I'm just going to, honestly, nope, okay, AMD is getting close. I'm just thinking about, let's just mark it in right now. There we go. Oops, sorry, I'm on the wrong stock. Oh, shoot, I got to pay? I didn't get short. We got to pay for shorts, my friend.
Oh, Lucid and Rivian, you got to pay for shorts.
Oh, no, okay, so I'm going to get him over into our system right now and get that. Did you get some for yourself there? Because
I'm right in the middle of it.
Okay, all right. Brendan, anything more on that story? As
I can't believe they're actually going to fall that far.
Right now, we're loading this up because I definitely want to get some.
Look at the turn. It just broke VWAP. Like, you actually could have got this if I paid for the shorts like 15 to 20 cents ago. Lucid hadn't moved as far. So that
I'm going to try to punch Lucid right now.
Lucid hasn't gotten out of hand yet, Brendo.
It's Electrek, guys, that's reporting this. So this was a little bit earlier, actually, during lunchtime, but just coming public, I guess, now on that. So yeah, there's a bunch of comments here. I'll keep reading through them, but that was the gist, anyways. Again, coming from Electrek.
Well, at least we're in a Nio short. Now, he didn't say Nio. Yeah, it wasn't that much of a move. And then like instantly, like it's got a second leg here down in the VWAP. But the bigger thing is the market is breaking the low. I think that's the other context. So I got out of Coinbase because, hey, Coinbase. Shopify.
Yeah, Shopify. Yeah.
Because 300 broke. But what I wasn't able to do, because when you go long, you got to throw 2 orders, Neil. I couldn't get the reversal there. So fired the second order didn't hit. We're going to get out of the long. I say this every single time. If you make that decision here, sometimes you're going to miss that reversal because I'm not reversing on 1 order. I'm having to take 2. I just got my Lucid locates. So the question is...
You can't punch short.
Oh, it's SSR from yesterday.
Like, this is just a nightmare.
Wait a minute. It was 10% down yesterday?
Oh, yeah, everything was 10% down.
Come on.
But it says SSR. Oh, yeah, it says SSR.
No, it does say it's. Yeah.
So there's Apple falling back in here as the market goes lower.
But
just so you guys understand what we're talking about here, first of all, not realizing that you needed to short this or pay for shorts. My bad on that one, obviously. We should have sort of.
Just tell yourself you couldn't have got it because it was SSR.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, no, it's fine.
I actually didn't remember.
I'll be able to live with myself here.
I didn't remember it was
Okay. Finally, we just got in
It'll
here
pop.
a little bit at 48. So we finally get touched in. The only reason I'm like, is regardless of the shares you have there, we tried to punch short 56, I think it was. And I was like, oh, don't have the shares. And now everybody can get 48s. This is going to rip against me here in a couple seconds. Like, this is trading. So, hey, welcome to it right now. Oh, you know what? You want to pop up then, tough guy? Let's get some more shares short here. In that one. There it is. Okay, this is not, we'll see. And again, like I said, I'm already a little bit, perplexed by him coming out and saying that. I don't know if this means anything. Brendan brought it from Electra there, so there's obviously some sort of a reputable, I guess, reputable source there.
Well, I'm sure he said it.
I'm sure he said it. I mean, I don't think that they would report something that was not said. But I don't know. I guess I didn't necessarily say that. The market is now tanking in. We are now short. There's the reload. So we'll say, okay. We're reloaded. We are now short Lucid at 49.5. We got a 52 there, right there on Lucid. So let's see how low we want to go now on this name. So we'll just see. If the market wants to fail, Elon's going to come out and say that. We'll hold it out. Do we have lows today to look at here for Lucid, or are we there? No, we're not nowhere even near to the lows. So in here looks good to me, man. 1630 for our first out. Let's start getting something here around 1630, guys.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be. Look, if you're not in shorts right now, the only hope, the thing we're holding out for, is that the NASDAQ can bounce off the low of the day, which is incoming. Rivian's a little bit more far gone here. I think it would have to pop 10 to 15 cents. I do have some exposure to the short side of the trade, but I'll quickly show you because I don't want to move off the chart. The NASDAQ pretty much at the last 2 days' lows as we speak. It's got about 5 points until we get to that bottom, so hold on to your shorts. If you like a long still, I'm not sure what it's in. You might get a bounce. That's all I will say. You might get a bounce because the NASDAQ is holding. I'm still trying to catch Shopify in front of this 300 level and trying to get it on any kind of an uptick. As we did get that break of 300, I do want to work into. I'm on the offer here in front of that 300 level to try to catch the short just to see if we can sneak into it. Nio is now. It's going to get it. Obviously, this got helped by Elon Musk's comments. Like, it wasn't really doing a heck of a lot. But then the second that happened, like, we did break through support, and Nio went another 15 cents in the money. I'm just going to wait for VWAP because A, it wasn't talked about, and B, it's up like still 15%. It's a very strong stock on today's trade. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself thinking that news should necessarily tank Nio specifically, but we are getting helped out here because of those comments, to be sure. Boeing as well, when the market's hitting the lows, that's going to start coming back into the downside. I'm looking for about that 118 level to see if we can't get out of this one.
Where's your short on Lucid?
I didn't get Lucid. I'm only in Nio. The NASDAQ just took out the low, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
I am on the offer. I was offering 55, I think, on Lucid.
All right, so we're a little lucky here to get this trade because there goes Lucid to the downside. So we're starting to get out right now. Mid-30s, we'll take it, baby. So we did take a piece out at 40. Now, okay, let's go. I mean, this is exactly as promised, as delivered right there for you guys. We did average into that Lucid trade because remember, I was like, that's fine, give it to me, baby. And then we took that. So sometimes you got to believe where these stocks are going. I think we're just getting, it's a short. The market's failing right now. So this, to me, again, this is not like one of those rocket science trades. We're playing off of Elon Musk there. Plus the market's come in a little bit. I'm completely neglecting this Apple trade, and I shouldn't be because it is going to the downside. We did get out of our AMD trade, obviously, a while ago. That was good for us to get out. Money-making opportunity until it wasn't. Now you're getting down to the day's low one more time here. And we said that there could be some movements coming through here as this day progressed, right? So that's part of the reason why, again, Neil and I both getting lighter and lighter on the longs, looking to flip over to the short right now. Lucid trying to bounce.
Amazon broke
Go ahead, yeah. Amazon broke, not
100.
Right.
Amazon broke the low of the day, and thank you, Daryl. Actually, Daryl Faust with a super chat there, pointing out Amazon hitting 101.42, 42 being my favorite number. So 101 incoming, that 100 level, obviously next in line. Look, I took the shop long at 300, and it kind of cost me the reversal trade. So with the market hitting the lows, I'm going to be at that decision point. There is a different stop I can use, which makes a higher probability that I'll get the reversal if I try the 100 break in Amazon. But I will be on the bid of Amazon at 100, whether or not I got the shop reversal, which got down to 298, by the way. So it was worth $1.50 at least. But Amazon 100 is a level we can't ignore because 2000 was a huge bottom recently for Amazon. So we get back to that price, of course, 24-1 split. Do the simple math, that would be a big double bottom for Amazon. I do see Nio catching a bid here right at the same time as the NASDAQ trying to catch one. So
yeah, I'm trying to get out of
Nio
this.
right here. 2 days ago, we had that, a couple of days ago on Friday, actually not a couple of days ago, a couple of sessions ago, we closed right around that quarter mark. We're now putting in resistance or support, at that 1840. Remember we talked the trade of the day, that 1840 area? I felt there might be some buyers if we got to that price. That's exactly what we're seeing. So that's going to be me getting out of NIO. I will thank Elon for the assist on that trade because, quite frankly, it looked like it was going to be a 20 or 30 cent win until Elon opened his mouth, and then it was a little bit bigger than that. The market also heading downside. I want more out of Boeing. I think Boeing can drop, but these are all strong stocks. Like, these are stocks, like Nio was super strong at the high of the day, Boeing strong off the high of the day. Like, these aren't falling over themselves. They're just profit taking, as I was saying. As the market tested the low, people will be taking profits because that's what you do in a bit of a bear market. And I am still holding this CMRA. That's a small cap. Just the last little piece. It's already sort of capitulated. I had to take 2 swings at it. Did a wick high at 420. It then gave it up. Looked for all the world that it was about to go down to $2. But then held up at 280. But the trend still, I think, working for me. I might have to get out of this at 280 if it comes back down here because it is holding VWAP pretty well. It's up 170%, another low float runner. But the short did work out pretty well on it. I don't think it cares what the market does.
All right, just a quick shout out to Brendan here because if there's something on oil, I guess there's not. Oil's just giving back, but you could see here a nice move to the downside here in oil. Down now 3 and a bit and just starting to get excited here. I guess since it broke that 120 floor there, it started to go back down. And again, unless there is something here, I'm not overly concerned about this move, but the market fading out. We do know that we have that big decision tomorrow. So that's why I looked at XOM right here because ExxonMobil right now testing, again, this is yesterday. Yesterday's bottom is there, but when we tanked in the afternoon, that bottom is right here, 95.30-ish. So we could definitely have a quick look at this level here, 95.30 or so on XOM. So watch out for that. We're coming right into it here. That could be a good breaking spot if we continue lower on oil. 95.25 on ExxonMobil. What's up?
There was actually a note, guys, from the White House just a couple of minutes ago suggesting they've met with oil company CEOs to discuss further refining capacity. So not individually affecting oil itself, but the individual companies, essentially it looks like being asked to up their capacity at this point.
I see. Well, I actually just jumped in. I saw that move to the downside and jumped into Oxy. I'm like, this is a level we had this morning. And Oxy eventually broke out through 62. It didn't get to 65. That was our target. I kind of felt like it was going to get there. We got it out in front of 64, thinking there'd be a play to short 65s. That just never happened. But it's actually trying to consolidate now at 61 even. And again, this is where it broke out from in the pre-market. At 8:30, when things jumped off, this is exactly where it was. So something super strong comes into support like that on a parabolic move down. It's pretty much the reverse of, hey, I'm shorting the top on a parabolic mover, thinking you're going to get a bit of a pullback. In this particular case, it just happens to be going long in Occidental. But if it makes that fresh low, I'm generally getting out of it every single time. The reverse, if on a short, I would get out of it if it makes a fresh high. If it makes that fresh low, and this isn't the consolidation, I'll just jump out. But if we get any kind of a pullback right to 61, 25, 50s, that'll work risk to reward. So I am now into a little bit of oxy. I mean, the second I heard about oil, all I did is call up the stock I was trading this morning, right? It's like, what was I watching this morning? If it had been XOM, I'd go over to XOM. Right? It just happened to be Oxy. Maybe I could have gone over to HUSA. Who knows? I bet you that stock fell off a little bit here. But yeah, if HUSA fell off the table, it's actually broken through support. I made the top wick. Well, I made close to the top wick on a HUSA short and never got back into it. But jump to what you're comfortable with. No, if X happens, this is what I want to do. Jump over to Y. For me today, it's Oxy because it was on my list doing pre-market prep.
Brandon, what's up?
Just one more note on that. Department of Energy guys releasing, looks like 45 million additional barrels as well in a new crude oil sale. So more oil coming back in.
All right, so that might make a little bit of sense there on the oil front. I just wanted to go, and just be like, this for a little Elon dance. I remember when he came out, I was dancing off at one of those Tesla meetings there. We should have that. That's a funny clip. We could find that clip. Probably Trader Prad could find that. The clip of Elon out there dancing on stage. I want to show it on the show. Okay, so there we go. There it is, a nice little move down there. So I know Nio you covered your Nio, I believe.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay, so Lucid there, it just hit 27. We got out a couple times down there. A couple times at 30, sorry. And my best fill was 27. I was waiting there for another one. We didn't get it. So we'll put some 34s out, see if we can get that. Sometimes I even cross, you can use dark pools and things like that. There we just got filled right there on that move. But a nice little out there at 34. So this is starting to really print out for us right now. So Lucid on the downside. So far, so good on that one. And then we'll just look. Oh, there it is right here. I don't know how much. Oh, God, this is a movie with videos and everything here, Prad. But hopefully we. Oh, yeah, there he is here. Okay, how do I open this up in a new window? I'll just show you here, right here. But I don't know, why am I even doing this right now? We don't even need to be showing this. A video will play after ad now, it shows. So, okay. Yo, what's up, Canadian Tire? We can trade some CP here, or CTC.A is Canadian Tire. Let's go, get this ad out of the way. Oh my God, here it is. There's Elon Musk dancing. So, you could be worth a few billion. There's that move. Why didn't he pay for a little bit better moves there? That's a good move. That's a decent move. There to the left, to the right, a little Elon shuffle action. He's feeling it. This is probably what he's at the board meeting today, looking around. He doesn't know what to do. Back and forth. Hey, when you have billions of dollars, you can dance however the hell you want. Congratulations, Elon Musk. Always nice to see him having some fun.
I'll tell you this right now, though. Fahad would crip walk all over him.
Oh, come on, Fahad.
It wouldn't even... he's got some moves for sure.
Yeah,
I bet
no doubt about that.
No question about that. Like whether, I don't know whether or not he'd have to do that with the capris on, but it almost doesn't matter.
I think if he wore those capris in the hood, there may be a problem. But we'll move on that one. He looks sharp. Apparently he's ringing. Are we doing the ringing of the bell?
Yeah, you're ringing the bell with the capris on, bro.
He's down.
Yeah, we got the thumbs up. I just took a little bit out of that Oxy off the bounce. And again, like if this did not flush right into a previous support level, you don't make the trade, but it did. So anytime there is a liquidity vacuum on news, the first thing I look for is stock to trade. And then obviously, does it have an obvious support level? And if there was price acceptance there before, a lot of times that's where the algos start making a market again. A lot of the reason why you have a big drop like that when an event happens, it's simply because news hits, And like anywhere from 40 to 80% of the quote that you see on the level 2 is just algos. So when something changes rapidly, like a news event, all they do is initially stop making a market. So most of that flushes in, a few stops go off, and then there's a vacuum that got created into it. That's why you get the outsized move. And if they start making a market again off a support level, well, the humans can come in and kind of take that trade. And that's all you're looking to do sometimes. Like was it Facebook the other day? Facebook the other day with Sheryl Sandberg. When she was leaving, she announced she was leaving. Same thing happened. It flushed. 185 was just a huge level on the higher time frame, and then you saw it bounce right off that same price. And was it just an easy, quick scalp? That's something day traders will do almost every single time. As the market, of course, bounces, as I'm saying all that, Boeing right back up to this 120 level, like a magnet, man. It just keeps on coming right back to this 120 level. Still super strong. Maybe we're not going to get that push down to 118, but hey, if it doesn't take out the high, then I think we are still good for the time being. In this one, it looks like it was a good out in Nio. And again, super strong stock, got to that 1840 level, puts in a wick bottom and is consolidating there. Maybe it goes lower from here, but to me, it just kind of made sense that it was going to likely start to go sideways and a good place to take the trade off, because if the futures hold this bottom on the NASDAQ, then you're bouncing higher and a strong stock is likely to make another test of that high day.
Yeah, with that being said, I'm purposely not having too many positions on here besides that Lucid trade, but Apple there, I missed it. As we were talking there, we should have been longer. It went right down into the price that we had. So I'm going to put an Apple bid down there. That's just a little bit lazy there. We should have had that trade on, and I just didn't. Again, thinking about Lucid, for some reason, watching that man do the shuffle there. But we should have got some more. So we'll put some more bids down here on Apple, and then let's just relook at some of these other trades that we had on board. We had Softy there, 244. Look at that out as Softy goes all the way back down in once again, almost into the day's low. I'd rather get Softy down here. I mean, that came to actually, that came pretty low, man. Oh, darn it, 242.20. Definitely some missed opportunities here on the buy side during that little bit of a dip down there. I don't know what the imbalances are trying to say right now, but we will figure that out and then get those back to you. I'm going to expect them to be pretty light today into that, but some of these bottoms seem to be okay. Let's just check out AMD quickly. Oh, I'm really glad we got it. AMD is at the bottom right now, actually.
It's at 86?
I'm going to buy AMD right now just because. So there it is. We're long now at 05 right there on AMD. Reason is, man, if I can't give this one 30 cents to the bottom, then I'm in the wrong business. So let's see if AMD can get back to the upside there. Completely forgot about this name. The good thing we got out, man. Saved ourselves 50 cents, but there it is. We'll scalp out a dime quickly here if we can get those out at 15. We'll see if there's going to be a tick right there to the upside. We are long now, 86.05 right there on AMD. There's my tick. That's a quick little dime right there back up. So far, so good here. Let's see if AMD wants to continue its march higher here. So AMD on the watch now, off that 85.80 bottom. Let's do that, man. Let's give this one 25 cents to breathe. It's almost exactly, it's 35 cents up to the 50 period. So hopefully this will work out for us. If I think this is going to be a back and forth type of thing, we should retrace back up here before we hit there. So we'll see about that coming out. 86.35 is the same 20 cents. So we'll put some orders there, but so far so good. AMD working to the long side here, and we just put it on.
Oh, I got to hit this one for you. The GOAT himself giving us the news with oil. I'm out of the trade. We talked about the bounce I wanted. I want 61 to 61.5 on Occidental. That's all I'm asking for. The low was at 60.90. So you're risking 15 cents when you factor in slippage. You take some out 1-to-1. You get the rest out there. When you're playing a news spike, I just feel like you get out on the initial move because look, you had a spike down for a reason, right? Like you had a negative sentiment news that comes out. All you're looking for is that relief back when the market starts to get made again. Like that's the trade that you're looking to put on. Or at least that's the trade I'm looking to put on in that particular case. Nothing too crazy other than that. I did check out NVIDIA immediately when Sean mentioned where AMD was, and I wasn't quite fast enough because the first thing I thought about was, I remember that long. The higher low. NVIDIA kept making higher lows. It wouldn't even test the bottom. Of course, it was right at that 156 that we traded at 1030 and barcoding off 156. Just not fast enough. I got over the name. By the time I'd pulled it up, it had already broken out of this channel. But there's your opportunity sometimes. AMD's on the low of the day, right? It's likely to find support. You have something which is in the same sector, which is a very similar stock, traded similarly. Valuations also probably near the same. And it's making a consolidation bottom at a higher low, so relatively strong compared to AMD. If there's any bounce in AMD, you're going to get a bounce, obviously, in the ETFs as well. But then it's just an easy long trade. It breaks out of this channel, and you're essentially risking about 40 to 50 cents to get it back into VWAP. Now, you got to be quick, though, because you got to notice that bottom, and the second AMD gets off, and believe me, you're going to start going. And then the same thing with the overall futures. You also have the NASDAQ bouncing off those lows. So we are seeing some strength come into this market at the end of the day, but it is muted strength. It is simply bouncing off support. And when you have an inside type day, all that we're seeing happen is rejections of the highs and bouncing off support levels. Tesla, I thought maybe it would have gone to that 650 area. It doesn't look like it did. That feels like it's a little bit of a nothing burger. I'm more concerned with Boeing, which feels like it's about to take out the top on me here. But I don't want to sleep on AUVI. And I want to do, we'll throw the hot dogs on because this is for you, Playmaker. I don't know if you're in hot dog, but you mentioned that you had a good swing on, I think it was AUVI. And that just broke and got a wick high at $4. This was about $3.50. I think when we were looking at it a bit earlier on, and Brennan brought it to our attention, multi-day runner just took out its 200 period moving average to the upside. How many stocks can you say that for? Just took out the 200 period to the upside today on AUVI. Strong move. As it gets to 4, you're going to see this channel that's trying to get into this 4 to 550-ish range. It's a big channel, probably a lot of resistance in there. But, I mean, if you've got prices in the 250 range and you've got an early part of the breakout, you're probably letting a portion of this ride. So congratulations on AUVI. It feels like for the day trade, it might have put in a wick top at 4. At least that's what I'm looking at. So for me, I'm going to see how much it costs for locates and then probably try and scalp a short. Maybe we get run over. We'll see. The market is trying to bounce.
Trying to bounce.
Money.
We'll wait to see here. Hopefully we can get a little more money, but there's the AMD trade. We just put it on, man. We just put this AMD trade on long at 86. I told you where the target was, right back up there to the 50 period. Honestly, man, I can't do any more than this. And I want to give a big thank you to Daniel from Yummies. Came through again, threw down the kebabs, threw down all this kind of great food. Our traders definitely appreciated that. So thank you, Daniel, if you are watching. That definitely means a lot to us to have such great audience like that. But there it is, man. And Daniel was asking me about training and things like that. And just, I mean, training is the show, which is what we're doing. And there it is right there. What else? What else? Are we supposed, there it is, man. Explain to you the risk to reward there on this AMD trade. I talked about it. I sent it out earlier that I thought all stocks eventually revert to the mean. There it is right there, taking out the 50 period, taking stuff out, taking names here on AMD one more time. So big time trading right there for me. Good stock, 86. There's 80 cents in the money right there on AMD just given to you guys. So if there's not a reason to watch or be a member, or this might be a good time, why don't we ask for some more likes right now? I mean, honestly, how about that trade right there? How about the Apple trade right now? That's $1 in the money that honestly I was sleeping on right there. So far so good on all of this, man. Thank you so much for everything. I'm going to do a quick little look here to see how many likes we do have. 794. I mean, 5,000 watching, maybe, there it is, 900. Let's go, baby. If we can get that going upside a little bit more, that'd be fantastic. See if we can crack 1,000 right now. But thank you one more time for subscribing, for liking, for all of that, because we're having a great time here. And guess what? We do it every single day. So if you're watching us for the first time, we're back tomorrow, man. And we're going to be back with just as much energy and just as many bangers as we can have on this show. Lucid did come out. We'll ring the register for that one as well. That's a money trade for me on that name. There it goes. Lucid, done with, man. Out 26 is out for flat when it takes it back to the upside. Damage well done on that. All we had to show was a little Elon dancing magic there, and Lucid went all the way back up to the upside. Brendan, what up?
Another monster today. EDU, New Orient Education. Came out yesterday, said they're going to restart their online English education and tutoring in China. Big move yesterday. Follow through and then some today, guys. Up 26%. Just took out day highs.
I feel like EDU, that one's been Under pressure. And by the way, always check out when it moves. Check that one at 350. It tends to have some imbalances in the mornings and in the evenings as well. But when that gets going, you can have some crazy moves on it. Some in that sector, in that space, any of the U.S. listed Chinese names, especially when they're lower floats, they can be runners. So if you see long setups, you can't hesitate to take them. I just got into that AUVI. Talked about it making a wick top at $4. Sometimes it's just about the setup, but there's nothing crazy about this trade. Essentially, it's first consolidation off that wick, which happens to be 85, and then it's out in front of this, first out here at 1-to-1, the second out here in front of 350. I don't want to get too crazy with it. And then the same thing with Boeing. Boeing breaks out the top. I get it. I do reverse into it and scalp because it's a quadruple top. So I did have the long, and then immediately got out of it. I mean, I just don't feel right about a breakout of the high of the day to the long side in this market this afternoon. And maybe that's just wrong, but we've been finding resistance on every single pop that we've had. And the NASDAQ just went 70 points. So I kind of feel like you get what you get out of a move like that and then go back to square one and not get too crazy. So I decided not to hold on to it, and maybe that's going to be the wrong call. We'll ultimately see here. Nio did make another push up. I was kind of hoping we'd see 19 again, and then I would just jump right back into the same trade. Unfortunately, it got about 20 cents shot, and because the high's I'm not shorting it 40 cents away from the top because I frankly don't know where I'd be getting out. I could have held on to the Oxy long. Maybe you get more than the 40 cents it gave you, and you hold out for $1. But I wasn't long because I was saying the market's going to bounce from here. I was long because it had a capitulation candle down into support, scalp trade into that gap, and then once the gap is filled, you want to be out of the trade. So Oxy looks like it might make a bit of a turn at 62. I'm more than happy to have gotten what we did out of it. I'd rather try to get back into Nio to a short trade if it pops a little bit more than that than try to get fancy with Oxy.
So you fancy, huh? All right, I feel like, 20, 40, 60, 80. So we have 20% left on AMD right now. And again, it basically fits like a glove, man. What is it? It must acquit if it doesn't fit. No, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, right? Yes. So this glove fit pretty good here today on AMD, man. I mean, that risk to reward there, bang it out for sure. Now we'll hold a little bit to that upside. I don't, like Neil, and I mean, we're sort of going to say the same thing here. I don't really want to invest too much into any side of a trade right now. I have the Apple long. I'm pretty happy with that one as that's continuing to go back up to the upside right now. And then we have the AMD long. So both $1 in the money and looking. But I did want to go over this today quickly because tomorrow's Fed day, right? This is not my portfolio, but it is stocks that I look at. I mean, a lot of these are in my portfolio, but these are all on e-signal. Anything that's red here are 52-week lows, okay? And then just look, we're not even, I mean, Beyond Meat, forget about it. That might as well be at a 52-week low. But look at this, QSR, that's Tim Hortons, Popeye's Chicken. So you do have, oh, by the way, I was going to ask Brad how spicy chicken was. I know they went there. All right, so there you go. That's at a low. There's JP Morgan at 52-week lows, right? There's Facebook at 52-week lows. The reason why I'm doing this, and you're going to hopefully see in a minute why, is that the breadth of this, right? So that's a retail restaurant chain, right? There's a bank, JP Morgan at lows. There's Meta, we know what Facebook is, at lows. There's Disney, so you get travel, you get entertainment again in there at lows, right? Forget about some of these marijuana stocks, that's just going to all these be. Rocket companies, 52-week lows, right? PayPal, 52-week low at $72. Peloton, Twilio, cloud computing, they're at 52-week lows. NVIDIA at 52-week lows today. Shopify, I don't need to tell anybody about that one. Shopify at 52-week lows today. Roku, we were just banging through $100. The other day we had a monster trade. By the way, Neil, guess where Roku is without looking?
77?
Yeah, exactly. $72 right now.
72?
Yeah, so, no, it took me by surprise, man. That's a good guess. I wouldn't have even guessed in the 70s.
Well, the problem is, when you do that, 60. I'm already guessing low. It's just,
Yeah, I'm kind of like leading the question there.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The point is, Square at 60 when its 52-week high is
Speaking of which,
290? Go ahead, Neil.
I just got into Square.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Block.
Look at the Look at the breadth there. A lot of different sectors, all at lows, man. As we await Uncle Jerome tomorrow to come out and save the market. And someone asked, what could he say to save the market? I don't know. I just think that he says the dot plot is on track. They're looking at inflation. Possibly he says something about, I don't know, some kind of an indicator looking like inflation has maybe peaked. I mean, I don't think they're going to say anything dramatic like that. I don't see he has any need to do that.
Well, the market seems to think that multiple 75-point hikes are on the table. So if he does something to make it seem like, like this, we get 70. Let's say we get 75 tomorrow. I think we're all kind of assuming that. We get that, and then all of a sudden that's going to be okay. We're not going to get another one. I might go back to 50. Okay, that could give you a little bit of a reason for a rally, but. You know, outside of that, I'm not sure what he can say either. I did roll into Square. I said I wanted to short Square on Pops. I don't think we'll get 60 at this. Sorry, 61, I should say. But it did have a 60 bottom. It just made a bit of a false break, and I can try to risk here about like 20 cents. See if we can't push back into the lows. We also have the Nasdaq getting up into what its afternoon resistance. So, you know, we're kind of just playing off this. If I find a stock that is at a resistance level as the market is doing it as well. I know what the risk to reward is. We do end up stopping out of this, but it's going to be a relatively tight stop. If we push down to the low, I think we have a chance to get to 59.40. I don't want trades that don't set up that way at this point. Because I think if we get a rally, right now we're looking at 240 million from financial juice to the buy side for the imbalances, and we are on the bottom. So you don't want to be shorting into oblivion where I'm just holding it forever, because we do have room for a rally on a lot of these names. But if I can find levels that I like, I'll try to get back in. Nio would have given me an entry if it was like 20 cents higher. I'm not sure we're going to get it. AUVI is actually starting to settle down a bit at that 370 mark, so it can't really make that other leg. I don't really want more than VWAP anyways. But the longer I hold on to it, the tighter that stop's going to be. And quite frankly, I might just get out of it right here at 370 if we get close enough to 350. Because I just checked over and realized, John, that it's 340 right now.
Yes, the time has...
the market's...
behooved me.
And to be perfectly honest, I might not have made that Square trade if I was a little bit more aware of what time it was, to be honest with you. Because, you know, you kind of want that second level this late going into the imbalances. That first level off the low of the day, shorting that one at this time, you need to have a pretty strong downward trend to want to do that. And we just had a pretty big bounce up. So that was probably a mistake to even risk the 20 cents on Square, now that I look at the clock.
This is also a mistake.
What's a mistake?
There you go. A little dancing action there. Shout out to Daniel. We had some Persian food come through here.
Those kebabs,
Those kebabs were lit, right? Those were great. Shout out again to Yummies. They were very, very yummy. Good one, Neil. You should work for those guys. The good one there. Yummy, yummy. Chicken and beef.
Yo, Daniel, you could pay me in food. What do you want to do, man?
If he's watching, this offer may come through at some point.
Pistachios.
Yeah, he brought some pistachios for us as well. Thank you so much.
The burgers are out of control. Oh, my God. Don't even...
Very nice. Very kind of you. Thank you, Daniel, again. He brought some stuff for my wife for her birthday and stuff like that. So definitely thank you so much, Daniel, for coming through today. All the traders, everybody appreciate that. So
lucky I'm not asleep right now after eating that lunch.
Yeah. But we're going to do that little dance there. We'll just go a little bit of Brendan here. Why not? He brought us some of that oil news. He's been obviously a big part of bringing us everything today. But here it comes, man. AMD. This one was all just on me having that feeling at that bottom here today. So AMD again, no news on this, nothing, just a nice little spike back up in the market. I said today would be this kind of a day. It's funny because 7 hours ago, I said this, that we'd be in the middle, and like I just said, 7 hours later, we're kind of in the middle here again. So there it is, man, a nice little winner for AMD. We took the risk off that bottom. Here it is, the bottom of the day, right there, AMD, we took it, and there it is, man. Sometimes, you know, the riches to the spoils come the... What's that saying, Neil? There, you take the risk on something.
To the something go the victor go the spoils.
Right. So that's that right there.
We get there eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually, especially if we talk it through. And there it is right there. So nice little trade for me on AMD, and we're right back at this level. I think. I mean, we just got the report there that. Please play Miss V animation. Yeah, hell, why not, man? We miss Miss V. What's up to Miss V? There she is right there. That was done real early, by the way, actually, that animation. That's one of the classic ones right there. But AMD, bring the pain. Apple right now, $1.80 in the money. Let's go Apple, $1.80 in the money. Let's go AMD, $1.40 in the money, man. Yeah, we're excited. I mean, that's what I do. We get excited when we're making these big trades. So here we go, AMD. We only have 20% left. left, but it's nice that it's working for us in the proper direction. So AMD, excited for this little move to the upside. Let's see where we can go from here. I don't really want to short anything. NVIDIA touched that 52-week low today, which is absolutely unbelievable, same as Meta. So yeah, maybe this market is safe tomorrow or maybe not, but it's still a nice little move upside right now. I think we could just take this out, honestly, here on AMD. We just hit these levels. Whether or not we retrace all the way up there, it's only $1 more. AMD comes out, guys, if we take out 87. Let's just call it that. We take down 87, we'll get out of AMD, okay? That's going to be the trade.
Yeah, I just covered, because it's this late in the session, I did just cover that CMRA at that 280. Of course, second I get out, it flushed another 10 cents. We are getting up to like what was a barrier this morning, this 1140 on the NASDAQ. It's green on the NASDAQ. The ES is... It's doing its best, right? Like it's battling valiantly is what I will try to say there. Down 0.25%. I think if it gets to green, we're talking, maybe another 20, 30 points or so. If it gets to green, it might run into resistance. So you're getting to points where you could see a little bit of a turnaround. Of course, Nio, there weren't many names that I did think were setting up for a bit of a short on that last little pop. Nio does give you a pop, not quite to where I wanted it, 10 cents away from that 1890, 19 even area, and then it does pull back. So it's already back at that 1860. Now remember, Elon's comments might have helped it accelerate to the downside, but it had made a monster top at $12 on what was ultimately almost a 20% move. There were going to be profit takers either way on something like this. And by the way, now Occidental has gotten to a level that makes some sense. I didn't think it was much worth fading if it got to 61.50, but if you want to get to the second level, this is where it broke out from at 62. So a failure through this price. I don't know why I have this weird gap in the chart from like 9 to 10 o'clock. It's hilarious. But 62 is where it broke out from this morning. I think if this is where it wants to fail, you've got a more significant level for a pullback, as we just had a huge monster move there. But as I look at my clock, it would have to be a very fast trade, as it is now 3:45. And energy names would be on that short list of things that I could see potentially being on the imbalance locator. Also watch out for CCL. That was interesting this morning, and we did miss out on some opportunities in CCL. Another name that I think could be on that imbalance. If it's going to be buy side for some of these Carnival Cruise Lines, hanging out at that low, down 4%. It's gotten crushed 11, 10, now a bottom at 9 even. If this comes out with a buy imbalance, there might be a chance to fade it off a VWAP on any kind of a spike.
Right, almost as if, we kind of felt like this was going to come back in here, right into VWAP one more time for AMD. So maybe this does finally break, and here it goes. Ooh, it's testing this 87 level right now. So, if it breaks a little bit lower, then we will get out very, very soon. Oh, there's a nice little move back upside there on AMD. I don't know, that seemed like a little bit of a dance there. We'll see what happens. There it is. We're out of this name. It feels like the market, I don't know what's going on right now, but that just felt like it was a little bit of a move there. I don't know, some funny action there in the level 2. But there it is, a nice out on AMD. And again, it's not like I should have took that. We talked about that, like when we just gave up 30 cents for no reason, really. We should have took that out when it was up there. It already retraced back to these levels. We were holding it here and weren't able to get it going. So that should have been a good area there. 87.30, 87.40 should have been out there. But whatever, we'll move on. It's a good trade, man. It's an 86 long and it's an 87 out. So again, 20%, 20%. We weren't sure. Like we were really happy. We were talking about doing this about 1.5 to 1 risk to reward there by getting out at the 50 period. And then it just took off. So definitely good out here. I'll do that all the time, back into this support. And then the last one, again, we should have done the same thing and just leveled that off and got out right there. So let's have a look quickly on Apple. That's basically the last leg to fall here for us. And yeah, it's coming down. But again, like I said, remember I said that I wanted to get out of Microsoft to sort of hold Apple. This is why Apple very strong back into the upside. We definitely missed some pickups in Apple, including it was just down here half hour ago. Like that was a big miss there. And then it just ripped up to the upside. So Apple definitely retracing everything, trying to go back to day's high. I don't even think it's impossible to get there, 133.90. So we'll see if Apple can do that, man, as here we go again. Nice little upside move. And it's going to look silly now because AMD is now above 87. But hey, we'll take that out. We can't call everything and get the absolute bottoms or the tops. I'm pretty happy with today. We'll end the day with no LFT and one of the bigger days for me again. So happy to be here and yeah, just excited for tomorrow, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm flat. When I say flat, by the way, I just mean no positions on. Like you've covered the last position.
Maybe we should explain that.
Yeah, we have to be
don't
flat.
hold.
We don't hold overnight. We're day trading, so we have to get out at the end of the day. Although the last trade was short AUVI, and I will say this: everyone, look, I short stocks that go parabolic and that type of thing that are low floors and whatnot, and never have I, on a long-term account, overnight shorted any small cap stock, nor would I. I think that is one of the most dangerous things that you can do. And it's not to say that you can't get gigantic gains, because when they go up, they can go down just as fast. It's just that your risk profile stinks a lot of times in them. For most people, it's a good way to get blown out. AUVI, it's a trending stock to the upside. It couldn't even get to VWAP here. It's been super strong. I wanted to hit one of these because it was like, I was trying to figure out what this, oh God, now I don't even have it anymore.
The Brendan one?
No, there was one weird one that I wasn't really sure what this was.
Let's give it a go.
It's just like this butter.
Oh, I know what it is. It's slicing through. Oh, yeah, what hit it? It's something you used to say. Ah, man.
Really? Tapping on butter?
No.
Keep this mic straight.
I remember we had the discussion about this. I'll remember what it was.
Well, I don't know what you guys think that one is. That's a little bit crazy to me. But anyways, it's just it makes no sense. I don't know why we'd have that as a key.
Trying
but
to
hey,
think about what that purpose
it makes
of that was.
absolutely no sense.
I
what
agree
the
with
heck
that.
thing was. But the market is getting toward those highs. And Daryl, and shout out to Daryl, one of our longtime viewers, saying he didn't trade CCL today. My only excuse for not trading CCL was, for whatever reason, I can't even count the number of symbols I've traded today, and it's probably 5 too many. I'm not complaining, because really, outside of like Shop, and then a quick Oracle trade this morning, everything else has been really good. But it's like, CCL was fantastic. Since it broke below 11, it's just been a short. Like, you get through, one too many. You get through this floor on the daily chart, and it's not rocket science, man. Like, it gave you the 1050 yesterday. 11 break on the daily, 1050 flush, $10 flush. Sometimes it's not that complicated. Yet I wasn't looking at it today because Nio, Baba, everything, all the Chinese stocks were going. We had a few other things that we're interested in. But sometimes you keep it simple, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's been paying you the last couple of sessions since taking out that monster level.
I don't think Neil is apple fritter drunk right now. I don't even know if that's a thing. I guess you can get into a coma, like a food coma. I guess you could always do that. That's for sure.
I appreciate you saying that and not something else.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know
between what I had today, and thank you to Yummies, and the apple fritter, yes, I am definitely in a good mood.
Yes, exactly. So, but okay, yeah, it's not like a. That's the thing. It is kind of like a knife. Oh, shoot.
Imbalances just came out.
We just missed the imbalances right there. Okay, so let's see what's happening right now. KD. It's Brad just acting like a fool. There's absolutely nothing going on. I mean,
nothing, dude.
If you guys watch the midday show. You were short. Okay, good.
Why?
All right, Intel with a short there. I guess the imbalances came out as short. I mean, the NASDAQ did dip a little bit right there, but so far so good here, honestly. So yeah, we're ready to rock and roll with some of these imbalances. I don't really see anything too exciting on here. I know we were talking about Intel before. There's that's BAC. There's XOM battle back upside there. We were looking at some of those shorts. Actually, yeah, there it is right there. That 9. Remember we brought that to you, 95.20 bottom. And the thing about XOM was I actually did the work there, and we went back to yesterday. Remember, I was like right there, yesterday's bottom. I mean, you could basically draw a line right there to peg that. So I should have gone long there instead of looking for the short, but as oil did reverse back up. But there we go. We'll talk more about the market here a little bit. Market just doing the same thing, man. And, you know, I can't do anything else, like I keep saying over and over again, but you're going to go here. Hey, what's up? There's my wife. But we'll see here. We talked about it right there. Inside day, right? We talked about this. We don't expect much from the Federal Reserve. So we wanted coin short at 53. That's my best trade of the day. We talked about Meta going long there. We talked about Apple's, Ford. We didn't even look at Ford again. And then we sit here. We decide to just dominate the rest of the day with AMD, with Lucid came through. Look at that Lucid trade right now. I mean, boom, out. Like that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that trade. Coinbase, AMD. And then we did also look at as well Microsoft today as a nice bottom, man. Wow. Got out right there. Could have reloaded it at those levels. So really for me, the lesson of the day is just that we knew this would be a day where the market would sort of have this kind of middling, and it looks like we are dead on. It's actually going to, like I said, look at this, 450. 250. We're closing the day at 350. So, I mean, you can't be more in the middle. That's exactly what we called, so I'm pretty proud about that.
Is Marissa in the chat?
Is Marissa in the chat? Probably.
Because someone just, I should explain the thought first. Someone just, Darwin, formerly SWW, just said, hi, Caged Woman 1 or 2.
Oh, because she was on my, oh, by the way, she's Caged Woman 1.
It's 1. Okay.
It was.
It's good. We had to clarify that because.
Yeah, good clarification.
Number 2.
No, he saw her there in my, in the Twitter feed there. So she's,
okay.
She does social media stuff on the side. So that's.
Yeah, it was kind of random, but I knew the reference.
Yes,
obviously.
Fahad will be on the bell, and a big thank you to Tony today for coming through. Both
Dropping
of us.
crypto knowledge.
I couldn't. Can you believe that? Like.
Actually, yes.
No, yeah. Sorry, rhetorical question.
What's interesting about Tony that I think it's just he's so easygoing, and then just of course of his nature and the way that he speaks, he gets going and you're just like, holy crap!
I don't even want to. You can't.
He's dropping so much knowledge. You just kind of want to sit back and grab a cigar and just sort of listen back and relax and take in some knowledge, man. He definitely has that vibe going. We should get a Tony podcast or something going on. I think it would be a heck of a lot of fun to do that. We got a question that I do want to answer because when someone asks, should I throw a dart at Revlon? I just remember, if I hear Chapter 11, there's usually about one play that interests me, and that's if it tries to bounce off $1. Because sometimes it's just one of those, and it already did that, so I don't know if you want to go at it again. I don't really know too much about the details of what happened today, but it did give that dart throw $1 where it flushes to $1, doesn't break below, and buyers can start to come in. I think a lot of times you get to that price. It's the same thing when a stock bases out from 20 to 25 cents, and then a couple of months in front of when they're supposed to get that delisting notice. Sometimes you get squeezes to the upside where it'll test 50, then it'll test 75, and then $1. That historically is one of those if you're just taking a shot kind of play because the catalyst of the stock trying to get up and not get delisted is there. Trying not to be a penny stock is usually one as well. Revlon already did that. So anything after that, I think your risk is, okay, you're giving it to $1. So if you like risking 70 cents from this consolidation, so a 40% risk plus, which we'll call it 50% risk. At least you have an out at that point, and heck, it could double up on you. I don't think it's the greatest idea in the world, but I hear Chapter 11, and my first thought isn't usually throw a dart at it. If anything, it's where can I find a short, which probably already happened an hour ago.
All right, we're completely. We just got out of Apple, so I was going to say I was going to give you a target, but it must have just hit breaking 385 as it does there. So Apple right now with only 4 minutes to go, there's the out. So we can zoom in a little bit there. Again, gave up. Again, a little bit more money than we should have, but those imbalances, like Brad said, they were to the sell side there, so nice little move down. We're going to finish the day at our highest spot, and we're pretty happy about it. So all is well over here, man. It was a big day, good day trading, and I just hope that we can do the same next time we're with you, man. Tomorrow afternoon is going to be a super exciting day. Join us. We'll try to go live a little bit quicker tomorrow because that Fed rate number is going to be coming at exactly 2 p.m. So we'll be switching over from the Prad show over to ours at about that time. So the midday show, of course, as we keep saying. And that was been a good one, man. And big shout out to Luca today and to Ian. Good job on that one. And Prad, an average job. So so far, so good there. Show the imbalances. Sure, let's do that.
Actually, I have the big screen up if you want it.
Oh, good. Go ahead. Go to Nio.
There's nothing there. I mean, KD, KGC, a couple of million imbalances, nothing significant. TAL, nothing big. I mean, you have NCLH is 600,000. Apple, 500,000 to the sell side. And I can scroll down. There's not much. I mean, Uber, 400,000. When you're not getting significant numbers or a very clear direction, yeah, you got a tiny bias to the buy side. But we'd already rallied enough that I think it rendered that moot, right? Because you'd had such a big bounce off the lows, unless you got a tremendous buy and bounce, I don't think it was going to be able to push it through. Not when resistance had been sold. Every resistance level on the futures on the way up had been sold when we got there. So every bounce, there were sellers to meet it, which makes sense going into tomorrow, quite frankly. So did we say what Brendan just put in our chat there? Did we get to that? Bill Ackman saying that we're going to get, 100?
Yeah. I mean,
tomorrow,
that's what I was thinking.
100 tomorrow and July.
Yeah, fine.
100 tomorrow and July. The market won't like that tomorrow.
The market will like that. The market will like 100,
100 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
the July part, I need to think about that. But I think the market will like 100, to be honest with you. Well, it's one point.
Chill, Bill. Come on, man.
Well, whatever. But yeah, it just means he's.
No, but
I'd be interested to see what his net positions were.
I think they're behind. I think they're behind the curve, but I thought that and was way wrong like a year and a half ago. And I'm like, don't you realize inflation's not transitory? And then probably got defensive way too early. So predicting these things to time it is just impossible. You can't do it, right? Like that's one of these things. If you could, then you'd have a magic 8-ball.
I don't think. I mean, apparently it was.
Actually,
was that 7?
when do you ask the 8-ball if we're gonna get up?
You want to ask the 8-ball right now, or do you want to do it tomorrow? Maybe I'll just ask it. I'll ask it. Okay, so should I say it out loud? I don't know. Okay, so magic 8-ball. Will we get 75 basis points tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't want to be too specific. Like I don't want to say like higher or lower than. Okay. So let's just see what it says here. Oh no, I shook it too much. It is.
It's decidedly so.
There you go.
So there it is, as is. We're going to get 75 basis
there you go.
points.
So that's very, very scientific. We just did it right there.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, sorry, Bill. But I think he just said 100 basis tomorrow. And then I think he's just kind of saying that he would like it thereafter, July. Wait a minute, 100 BPS hike tomorrow.
He's saying he thinks they should, not that it's going to happen.
July thereafter would be better. Yeah, let's go to Brendan to confirm this. What's up?
It's just his opinion, I think, guys. Like he's saying if they raised 100 tomorrow and then July and thereafter, we would get to where we need to go sooner, right?
Yeah, right.
He's saying they need.
Oh no, I know it's his opinion.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I know that. I don't think that was Jerome coming through and saying that. Of course, and I agree. That's the whole point. That's what I started this show with. I was saying 75 is better than 50 for the markets, for the bulls, of course. There, I'm going to turn this guy around. I don't want to spoil it. We have about a minute left to go. We've had a great show. The markets are going to end green, hopefully right now. As well, the S&P is not green.
The ES is not going to end.
The ES is not green, so maybe I should turn that guy around one more time. But stay tuned for that tomorrow, man. Rate's going to be awesome, and we'll be here to cover it.
And we got Tony back because you love Tony. We're going to make sure Tony rings a bell. But he has a special guest, so it's not every day that you get to see.
Can we get the jorts on camera, though, Lucas?
No, that's jorts. The capris, baby.
My bad.
Make sure you get those capris. There they are. There they are. The newest style in basketball apparently is rocking these capris on the court. So that is, if you haven't guessed, that is Fahad, whose face you have never seen.
Fahad was doing calf raises over there to make sure he looked all good in these capris. So good job there. As we have 8, 7, there. Oh yeah, he's ready to rock. There we go. Oh yeah, look at those calves. This is this guy.
3,
2, and 1. Yeah. The thing is, he cannot see because you cannot see who Fahad is. But there it is right there. Let's go over. Thank you, Fahad, for that. He actually had to move Tony out of the way for that one because Tony was there. But thank you to Tony for Tuesdays with Tony. Can't get any better than that segment today. It can. Next Tuesday will be better, and every Tuesday thereafter because Tony always brings the heat. And Brendan, I turned the bear into a bull for the NASDAQ. But as I see, that's not the only market out there.
It is not, but hey, NASDAQ's positive, so let's just focus on that. Why don't we? NASDAQ, 0.18. So, I mean, it wasn't much, but we'll take it ahead of what is to come tomorrow. There you go. 0.18 for the NASDAQ, 0.4-ish for the S&P, 0.25%. As expected, I think, ahead of what's to come, guys. Pretty quiet day overall. More negativity bottom end there, 4%, 3% for Ethereum.
It was only the NASDAQ green, but there was a time when all we cared about on the board was the NASDAQ. I think now we have to have a better perspective of it, especially going into tomorrow. But certainly a strong day, end of the day for some of the tech names off the bottom. Maybe not so much for everything else.
That was great, man. We had Tuesdays with Tony today. We had did we have Justin on in the morning, or was that yesterday? I don't even know. That was great. We had a great show. I think it was yesterday as well. We had a great show with Trader Prad, so we can shout out him. Still at his desk there. If you got a shot of Trader Prad coming through right now. Lucas, do we have a shot of Trader Prad quickly here? He's at his desk. We want to say thank you to Trader Prad. There he is. He has no idea either. There it is. Thank you, Trader Prad. There you go. Look how handsome this guy is. He's jamming. Oh, yeah. There it is. Focused, all right, let's take it off, and we shouldn't be on if he doesn't know it's on him there. Thank you guys for that one. Thank you to Ian, obviously, today, and to Luca. Great big show on the afternoon. They'll be there tomorrow. Very important tomorrow, too, midday. Even though it should be quiet, there should be some stocks setting up as well. Thank you to anybody I forgot. I mean, thank you to Daniel for coming coming through today from Yummies. That was a big one. Thank you for all the food, man. That was excellent. We're definitely appreciative of all of that. I still feel like, did we have a guest, Frank Caberna, this morning? Maybe we didn't. Thank you to Arun as well today. No, Brendan's saying
That was yesterday too, Sean.
That Brendan was saying no to that one as well. But anyways, thank you to everybody,
anyways,
all
Frank.
our sponsors. Today was a fantastic show. So I think we should. There he is.
He still doesn't know
not
he's on
aware.
camera.
I'm gonna. You're on. You're on.
Camera.
There we go. So big shout out there. I threw the bull at him. So you can show the bull there. Show the bull there. So it wasn't the slipper. It was the bull. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow, join the 4 of us, plus Ian, plus Luca. We'll be here tomorrow to watch the Fed. Stay tuned for the trade of the day. It was.
Oh God, put me on the spot.
I know it was
not
Nio. I know what it was.
In my
Nio
head
there.
it was Baba, but it was Nio.
Thank you guys. Tomorrow 8:30. Sleep well. We got a big one. Ciao.